Chapter 51-55. The Battle of the Young Titans. The Dragon Prince initiated a battle that gathered all the young geniuses. Countless people were shocked. Those who thought they were top geniuses were ready to participate. Those who weren't qualified were also ready to watch. This was probably the most intense battle of all the top geniuses in the Yaoguang continent. Sure enough, more and more people gathered at the Saint Origin battlefield. That was the ancient battlefield, where countless super mighty figures and peerless powerhouses had fought. It was enough for the young titans to have a good fight there. Countless families and sects, as well as the older generation powerhouses, were ready to watch. Perhaps a young supreme being would emerge from this battle. The two princes who had been confirmed to participate in the battle became two mountains in everyone's heart: the Dragon Prince and the Kunpeng Child. These two were incomparably terrifying. Perhaps their existence could crush everything. However, there were also people who were confident. For example, Yi Wudao, Gu Feng, and the others were ready to participate. Among them, the ancient wind began to sweep in all directions. Previously, it was the Dragon Prince, Lin Xian, and the others who stood out. He had been unknown, but now, he had cultivated the ancient void scripture to a terrifying level. Therefore, he challenged all the geniuses. One after another, the top powerhouses of the families and sects were defeated by him in less than 10 moves. This shocked countless people. Another peerless expert had appeared. Yi Wudao didn't challenge anyone, but someone else challenged him. In the end, he couldn't even block a punch from Yi Wudao. Countless people were shocked. They knew that these two were peerless geniuses who cultivated the ancient earth scripture. In addition to them, there was the overlord of the tyrants and the golden crows. There were even experts in the Purple Mansion realm who came out one after another. These people swept the world and made a name for themselves. They were preparing for the final battle. There was another person who took action, and that was Yaoguang. However, he was very low-key and didn't attack anyone. However, his figure was present in every battle. Among those who had lost, there would always be people who would mysteriously disappear. He was the one who assassinated them and swallowed their corpses. He cultivated the demonic heaven-devouring art, and no one knew what level he had reached. The time was getting closer and closer. There were many experts in the Saint Origin ancient city. There were already figures flickering on the battlefield. Those who had attacked before didn't take action. Instead, they began to cultivate in seclusion. They adjusted their physique to the peak and prepared for the strongest battle. In the last few days, these experts began to appear. They all headed to the Saint Origin battlefield. The Saint Origin battlefield was an ancient battlefield inside the ancient city. It was incomparably vast. Moreover, this place was very hard, so there was no need to worry about it being broken. Outside the battlefield, there was a sea of people. Countless experts had gathered. They were looking forward to it. Look, that's the Dragon Prince. They saw a figure standing there with his hands clasped behind his back. Tens of thousands of dragons circled around him, making him look like a peerless dragon god. He was the Dragon Prince. He was too powerful. Sensing the bloodline aura of the other party, countless people cried out in alarm. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were delighted. The young paragon is definitely our Dragon Prince. However, there were also people who snorted coldly. The people of the Sky Sect laughed. It was too early to speak. Dragon Prince is not invincible. Our Kunpeng is the strongest. As he spoke, everyone looked over again. A man surrounded by a black and white aura descended. He was like a heavenly deity, his might overwhelming the surroundings. His aura was no weaker than the Dragon Prince's. In fact, it was even more terrifying. Its appearance made the Dragon Prince's eyes shine fiercely. The gazes of the two princes clashed and swept across the 9 heavens. Everyone was excited. They were finally going to witness the battle between the two princes. In addition to them, there was also a figure who was emitting purple light. Like a purple god of war, it was the Yi family's sage physique, Yi Wudao. With a stomp of his foot, the earth shook and the mountains shook. A terrifying aura rushed toward the two princes. Obviously, Yi Wudao was going to take out his true battle strength to challenge the princes. The void shattered, and a figure suddenly appeared. Countless people exclaimed, and even the pupils of the older generation shrank, because before this, they had not sensed anyone at all. It was the top genius of the Gu family, Gu Feng. The ancient void scripture, the power of space, appeared and disappeared unpredictably. Countless people were shocked. The Dragon Prince and Kuan Pengzi also frowned. The sage physique was very terrifying and had infinite strength. The ancient void scripture had the legend that space was king. These two people could not be underestimated. Of course, they were very confident and fearless. In addition to them, the other powerhouses and geniuses also went up one after another. Standing on the holy abyss battlefield, one figure after another was like a god fiend. Look, that's the overlord. That's the genius of the Golden Crow clan. That's the elite of the Purple Mansion realm. The 9 successors of the Purple Mansion realm this time were all very mysterious. Countless people exclaimed. A figure stood in the crowd, his eyes flickering. He was wearing a white robe and had a handsome face. It was Yao Guang. At this moment, he was extremely excited. Fight! It would be best if you all turned the world upside down and died. At that time, I'll devour all of you. Up until now, he had devoured many geniuses, but he had not devoured any princes. He really wanted to taste the princes. Who do you think will win in the end? I think there are a few people who have a chance. It's useless. I think the 2 princes are still the strongest. No one else can challenge the princes. As soon as these words came out, some people were unhappy. Who said that? Have you forgotten about Lin Wudi? Many people's faces changed when they heard that name. How could they forget that name? However, that name had become a taboo now. Who dared to mention it at this time? Who was so reckless? They turned their heads and looked. It was the people of the Divine Union. Countless people were shocked. Bai Susu and the others also came and stood there. Who said that the princes were undefeatable? Back then, Lin Wudi defeated the Dragon Prince with his own strength. Nothing is absolute in this world. I think Yi Wudao has a chance too. The others were silent. That was indeed the case. Some people said that it was a pity that Lin Wudi no longer existed. Many experts of the older generation sighed. A genius who had been crowned as a king had actually fallen? It was said that he had encountered heavenly punishment in the Yuheng continent. He had been beaten until his soul was destroyed. What a pity. If he was still alive, this battle would be even more exciting. Yes, a crowned king could definitely sweep through the 9 heavens. However, no matter how strong he was, he could not resist heavenly punishment. The people of the 1,000 Dragon Dynasty snorted coldly. A dead person was not qualified to be compared to the Dragon Prince. On the ancient battlefield, the Dragon Prince sneered when he heard that. Regardless of whether he is dead or not, if he dares to appear again, I can suppress him with one hand. There was a terrifying light in the Dragon Prince's eyes. He was now only a step away from the Great Sage Realm. After this ancient war, he would immediately break through to the Great Sage Realm. At that time, his strength would undergo a tremendous change. Even if Lin Wudi was alive, how could he fight with him? Chapter 51-56. Kuan Pengzi shook his head and sighed. Lin Wudi was very strong, but it was a pity that he couldn't fight with him. To be honest, he also wanted to fight with Lin Xian after he was crowned king. Unfortunately, Lin Xian had died. Yi Wudao's eyes flickered. He believed in Brother Lin. He had always felt that Lin Xian wouldn't die so easily. On the other side, Gu Feng snorted. Dead? He deserved it. He didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Had he died? On the Z Mansion side, Qin Xianer sighed. She didn't expect that Lin Xian had already died when they met again. Disappointment appeared in her eyes. At this moment, the Dragon Prince shouted coldly. All right, there's no need to waste time on a dead person. The battle of the young paragons could begin. As his voice fell, the surrounding people became excited. Who would be the first to attack? The battle between the Dragon Prince and Kuan Pengzi would probably be the last. That was indeed the case. The 2 emperors' sons would not easily decide a victor. I'll go first. Qin Xianer walked out. She was dressed in red, and her face was so beautiful that it would shock anyone who saw her. A long sword appeared in her hand. The sword light was like water and carried a biting cold aura. She was so beautiful. Countless people exclaimed when they saw this scene. She was one of the successors of the Z Mansion. Who was she going to challenge? Qin Xianer stared at Gu Feng, and a cold light appeared in her eyes. Previously, some people had sighed at Lin Xian. However, Gu Feng had mocked and said that Lin Xian had died well. Qin Xianer couldn't stand it. Therefore, at this moment, she attacked Gu Feng. She pointed her sword forward. Countless people exclaimed. It was actually Gu Feng. Gu Feng's lips curled up into a smile. Fairy wants to challenge me? Come on then. He stood in the void and his figure swayed. He seemed to be independent of heaven and earth. To be honest, Gu Feng's target this time was the two princes. Therefore, even if Qin Xianer was one of the successors of the magistrate, he didn't care at all. Qin Xianer's expression was cold. She stomped her feet and flew out like lightning. The autumn water sword in her hand slashed down, and the sword light turned into the only thing in the world. What a fast and terrifying sword technique. Countless people were shocked. Previously, they felt that Qin Xianer was overestimating herself by challenging Gu Feng. But from the looks of it now, the other party definitely had the strength to do so. Probably not many people would be able to withstand this sword strike. As expected of a top genius, the successor of the Purple Mansion, no one who had come to the Holy Gulf battlefield was weak. Countless cries of surprise could be heard. Ancient Wind was also stunned. A terrifying sword technique? His figure flickered and instantly disappeared. The place where he had been standing had been torn apart by the sword chi. He appeared in another location. Qin Xianer attacked again, her sword chi sweeping across the land. Gu Feng appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Suddenly, Qin Xianer became one with her sword. The sword stabbed out at an extremely fast speed. This time, Gu Feng did not dodge, causing countless people to cry out in surprise. Could it be that he could not dodge? The corners of Qin Xianer's mouth curled up into a smile. However, in the next moment, she was stunned. That was because she saw Gu Feng forming a seal. A crack appeared in front of him. It was a spatial crack that severed the heaven and earth. However, she felt as if she had entered a swamp, and her movements became difficult. She was actually unable to stab her opponent with her sword. What's going on? She was clearly very close. Why couldn't she hurt him? The surrounding young dancers were all stunned. So close, yet so far. One of the older generation experts said in a deep voice. Although it was only a meter away, the ancient wind had formed a folded space. The real distance was probably millions of miles away, so Qin Xianer could not hurt him at all. What? So terrifying. Folded space? What kind of technique was this? Countless people were shocked. Was this a spatial god art? It was too unbelievable. Qin Xianer also frowned. What a strange spatial god art. She formed a seal with her left hand and stretched out her fingers. Petals danced on her fingertips and charged forward. The void kept shattering. Peerless god art, void shattering finger, specialized in shattering the void. It's useless. You're no match for me at all. Gu Feng smiled in disdain and formed a seal again, forming a spatial barrier that directly enveloped Qin Xianer. Qin Xianer felt an invisible force that wanted to tear her body apart. She retreated. How could he be so strong? Qin Xianer's face turned pale. Although she was at the same level as him, his technique was too strange. Was this the inheritance of the great emperor? She suddenly felt a sense of despair. One had to know that as the successor of the Purple Mansion sect, she cultivated the god arts of the ancient sages. She was a top genius. Even if 10 of the other geniuses joined forces, they would not be able to block one of her attacks. However, even after learning so many god arts, compared to the inheritance of the great emperor, they were still too weak. The difference was like heaven and earth. Was the great emperor so terrifying? Qin Xianer's eyes were filled with loneliness. She did not attack again. The surrounding people also exclaimed. Gu Feng was too strong. This Gu Feng was unbelievably strong. The young geniuses were filled with despair. Some of them even shook their heads immediately. Previously, they still thought that they could attack Gu Feng. Now, they did not dare to even if they were beaten to death. Gu Feng stood there with his hands behind his back and said loudly, "It's useless. You're no match for me at all." Countless experts of the remote antiquity family and peerless sect frowned. There were probably no more than 5 people who could fight against Gufeng. On a mountain peak in the distance, a mysterious figure stood there, looking forward with flickering eyes. The ancient void scripture was indeed powerful. Then, she looked around and frowned slightly. Why wasn't Lin Xian here yet? Was he going to miss this battle? She was Yen Ruyu. She came here to watch the Dragon Prince fight. After all, her enemy was the Dragon Prince. She wanted to see how powerful the Dragon Prince was. At the same time, she came here to wait for Lin Xian and prepare to meet him. Then, they would work together to discuss a plan to kill the Dragon Prince. However, it seemed that Lin Xian had not shown up yet. Lin Xian was already here. He just did not show up. He was waiting. He wanted to see how powerful these people were. Seeing Qin Xiener stand up for him, Lin Xian felt warmth in his heart. Then, his face darkened. Gufeng, he would not let him go later. At that moment, another person walked over. It was the Overlord. He looked at Yi Wudao and said in a deep voice, "I want to see how powerful your unparalleled saint body is. Please enlighten me." Yi Wudao strode over. His body emitted an extremely terrifying light. The Overlord's expression was solemn. He took a step forward and threw out a punch. The Overlord's divine fist. An extremely heavy power swept through the 9 heavens like a boundless sea. The entire space was shattered into pieces. The people around felt their scalps go numb. This punch seemed to be able to tear any supreme saint into pieces. No one could resist it. In response, Leaf Daodinier laughed heartily. He also threw out a punch. He turned into a 9 heavens immortal king and descended from the sky. This punch was also extremely terrifying. Chapter 51-57. The collision between the immortal king and the Overlord caused an earth-shattering sound. Then, a figure retreated. The Overlord pushed back, causing the ground to shake. One of his arms drooped down, and he could no longer feel it. He was too strong. Although he was a top genius of the Overlord tribe and a terrifying Overlord body, he could even kill a mid-stage great sage with one punch. But he was suppressed by the other party. In the next moment, he stretched out his left hand and said again. At this moment, endless blood energy surged from his body, and the wind and clouds changed. Rays of light fell from the sky and landed on the Overlord's body. The Overlord roared, and his aura was powerful. His body kept growing, as if he had turned into a giant. Barbarian God Palm. This attack was like the resurrection of the ancient barbarian god. The power was several times stronger than before. Countless people were shocked. The Overlord was so terrifying, and his power was probably very close to that of a great sage. Sure enough, the older generation people also looked serious. These people were only at the peak of Great Sage King, and they were already so terrifying. Lin Xian was also shocked. He knew how powerful Yi Wudao was. He had met the Overlord tribe before, and he had even fought with the Overlord. He didn't expect the Overlord tribe to be able to unleash such terrifying power. It was really shocking, but he believed that Yi Wudao could handle it, and the other party cultivated the ancient scripture of earth. At this moment, the Hellfire Dragon's voice rang in his mind. The Overlord tribe was fighting with the sacred body again, but unfortunately, it was just an ordinary Overlord body. Ordinary Overlord body, what did that mean? Lin Xian was confused. The Hellfire Dragon said, "Do you know that the sacred body has an archenemy, and that is the Overlord body?" But it was not an ordinary Overlord body, but the Overlord body of the heavens. Lin Xian was shocked. Was it very powerful? The Hellfire Dragon said, "Very powerful. I remember that the Overlord body of the heavens once killed a great sage body." Lin Xian was shocked. A great sage body dared to fight against a great emperor, but it was killed by the Overlord body of the heavens. That kind of physique must be extremely terrifying. The Overlord tribe was not to be underestimated. Boom. As he spoke, another earth-shattering sound came from the front. The Overlord used the barbarian god's palm, while Leaf Daodinier opened his palm. Behind him was the phantom of an immortal king. This palm strike was even more powerful than before. Immortal kings descended from the 9 heavens, sweeping through the mortal world. The barbaric god's fist was suppressed once again. This time, the overlord retreated. His blood and chi churned as he spat out a mouthful of blood. Were the members of the tyrants injured? It was still too difficult. The elder of the earth sect shook his head and sighed. Even though the overlord's physique was extraordinary, he did not possess the ancient great earth scripture after all. I actually lost, overlord. My hands are numb, and I can't punch for a while. He laughed bitterly. I didn't expect you to be so strong. Thank you for letting me win. Yi Dao Denier said coolly. The illusions of the 9 heavens disappeared. The overlord took a deep breath. He said that although he had lost, it did not mean that the tyrants had lost. The surrounding people were shocked. What did that mean? Could it be that there was an even more terrifying genius in the tyrants? If they remembered correctly, the tyrant was the number 1 genius of the tyrants. Even Leaf Dao Denier was taken aback. Kuan Pingzi frowned. Could it be? The overlord laughed. That's right. I'm not the number 1 genius of the tyrants. We have an even more terrifying genius in the tyrants. He's the tyrant body of the heavens. Kuan Pingzi was shocked. The other elders also exclaimed. The tyrant body of the heavens was such an ancient name. However, no one dared to underestimate him. These words were as heavy as a mountain, causing everyone to be terrified. The young geniuses did not understand. What was the tyrant body of the heavens? Was it very powerful? When the elders said that the tyrant body of the heavens had killed a sage physique, the young geniuses were stunned. This short sentence was enough to explain the terror of the tyrant body of the heavens. The members of the Yi family also frowned. That kind of physique had appeared again? 50,000 years ago, a sage physique had appeared in the Yi family. In the end, he was killed by the tyrant body of the heavens. How could they forget this matter? They did not expect that such a bloodline would appear in the tyrants again. Yi Dao Denier took a deep breath and said coldly, Is he here yet? I'll fight him. His eyes were filled with a fierce battle intent. The overlord said. He was still cultivating in seclusion at the moment. However, don't worry, he will come out soon. All right, I'll wait for him. Yi Dao Denier was also very confident. He was not afraid of anything. Yi Dao Denier and Gu Feng showed their strength one after another. Everyone was shocked. These people were probably qualified to challenge the emperor's son. The others were no match for them at all. For a moment, no one dared to challenge them. However, they all attacked each other. Among them, a few dazzling figures appeared. For example, a powerful genius walked out from the Golden Crow tribe. She was a woman. She was the Golden Crow princess. Her strength and physique were also very strong. Her flames were even more terrifying. They could melt everything. Apart from the Dragon Prince, a few other top geniuses came out from the Thousand Dragon Court. Among them was a person called Long Lei. Terrifying lightning circled around his body as he looked down on the Divine Union. Lin Wudi is dead. Is there no one in the Divine Union who can fight? I think you should disband as soon as possible. A cold voice was heard, causing the members of the Dragon Palace to laugh. How could the Divine Union be compared to the Dragon Tribe? The members of the Divine Union gnashed their teeth in anger. Everyone else had strange expressions on their faces. They looked like they were watching a show. Both the Dragon Palace and the Divine Union were factions of the True Path sect. Had the battle between them not ended yet? It seemed like it would continue. On the Divine Union side, Bai Susu gritted her teeth. What was there to be arrogant about? She walked out. If you want to fight, I'll keep you company. After Bai Susu came out, she formed seals with her palms and formed 4 clones. They covered the sky and covered the earth. An earth-shattering power swept through the 9 heavens. Countless people were shocked. These were clones, right? Each of them was extremely terrifying. She could actually form 4 clones in an instant. How extraordinary. It seemed like the Divine Union had other top experts besides Lin Xian. Long Lei sneered. He was unmoved. Look at me. 10,000 thunder palm. He raised his palms and waved his dragon claws. Lightning gathered on them, forming a lightning net that covered the sky. The battle with Bai Susu was extremely intense. However, after 100 moves, a tail suddenly appeared behind Long Lei and struck Bai Susu's shoulder. Bai Susu was sent flying. A crack appeared on by Susu's shoulder, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. She was injured. Countless people were shocked. The members of the Divine Union were also shocked. Damn it, was that a hidden weapon? He actually had a tail. Those people gritted their teeth. The other party had hidden it too well. Long Lei snorted. You're just Oso. I think the Divine Union is trash. Chapter 51-58. Long Lei was unusually arrogant. However, the strength displayed by his opponent was extremely terrifying. Even Bai Susu was defeated. It was likely that the other members of the Divine Union would not have a chance of winning. Lin Xian transmitted his voice through the void. Susu, come back. I will avenge you. Bai Susu walked back into the room. The people from the Divine Union hurriedly asked, Senior Sister Bai, are you all right? I'm fine, just a little injured. I didn't expect this guy to be hiding a tail. Bai Susu gritted her teeth and swallowed the pill. The people from Dragon Palace sneered. Without Lin Wudi, you are nothing. Surrender obediently as soon as possible. Otherwise, all of you will die without a burial ground. The people of Dragon Palace started to show off. Long Lei continued to clamor. Come on. If one of you isn't a match for him, I'll allow the two of you to fight him together. If all 10 of you come at me at once, I can suppress all of you with one hand. As long as they are from the Divine Union, I will accept their challenge. Bai Susu gritted her teeth. How arrogant. Nailin Liang also snorted coldly. You said it yourself. When the people from the Divine Union arrive, you have to accept the challenge. Of course, there's no problem. I'm just afraid that you don't have any experts. Bai Susu sneered. Just you wait. They knew that Lin Xian was nearby. When the time came, they would see how the other party died. However, Long Lei did not care at all. After ruthlessly suppressing the divine dragon, he turned around and left proudly. Next, the geniuses of the Blue Tribe and the powerhouses of the Dragon Sea also challenged the Divine Union. He was very pleased with himself. Suddenly, everyone thought that the Divine Union was finished. After Lin Wudi's death, he was targeted by so many experts. He would probably end up in a miserable state. Next, the battle continued. Some other experts and geniuses tried to challenge the Crown Prince. In the end, the Dragon Prince and Kuren Pengzi completely ignored him. Because their opponents were too weak, they did not have the qualifications to challenge them. They had no choice but to challenge Leaf Daudinier and Ancient Wind, and were defeated within 10 moves. After the Overlord regained his strength, he looked ahead. He looked at Kuren Pengzi and said, I want to fight against the Crown Prince. Please give me a chance. Kuren Pengzi nodded. As you wish, take out your strongest technique. Although the conqueror was defeated, he was still a top genius and qualified to challenge them. Furthermore, he would be able to show everyone exactly how strong the Crown Prince was. Tyrant took a deep breath and roared as he threw a punch forward. Barbaric God's palm. The terrifying palm covered the sky. In the face of such a terrifying attack, the Kuanping only stretched out a finger and pointed forward. A black and white aura revolved around his finger. With a point of his finger, the mountains and rivers shattered. The barbarian god's palm shattered into pieces. The Overlord was also sent flying while coughing up blood. A bloody hole had appeared on his body. Fortunately, it wasn't a vital part. He knew that Kuren Pengzi had already shown mercy. His scalp went numb. Many thanks for showing mercy. The surrounding people were all shocked. Wasn't this too powerful? Earlier, when Leaf Daudinier had fought back against the barbarian god's palm, he had used the immortal king descends to the 9 heavens. But now, Kuren Pengzi had severely injured the tyrant with just a finger. What kind of power was this? Was this the strength of the Crown Prince? It was simply unimaginable. The laws of yin and yang are indeed powerful. I want to experience it for myself. Leaf Daudinier strode forward, his voice resounding. The others were all shaken. It seemed like a top-level battle was about to start. Kuren Pengzi nodded. As you wish. He also wanted to experience the terror of the Yi family's unparalleled saint physique and the Heavenly Emperor Sutra. Leaf Daudinier didn't dare to be careless. In an instant, the purple light on his body condensed into the phantom of an immortal king. The immortal king descends to the 9 heavens. The terrifying phantom stood indomitable and suppressed the 8 desolates. Countless people were shocked. Did he use such a peerless technique as soon as he appeared? From the looks of it, Leaf Doudinier was also facing a great enemy. Facing this peerless technique, Kuan-Peng-zi didn't use a single finger. Instead, he slapped out with his palm. His palm turned into a Kuan-Peng that soared between heaven and earth. Heaven and earth shattered, and the entire ancient battlefield shook. So powerful, countless people retreated. The immortal king and the Kuan-Peng fought. A heaven-shaking voice resounded through heaven and earth. Laws swept out. At this moment, Leaf Doudinier took a step forward and instantly disappeared. When he appeared, he was already behind Kuan-Peng-zi. A pair of fists charged towards Kuan-Peng-zi's head. What fast speed! Countless people were shocked. Was this a spatial divine ability? They were all stunned. This speed made even the scalps of the Gu family tingle. Gu Feng's face darkened. The people of the heavenly sect said, 10,000 steps in an instant. This was a peerless movement technique in the Heavenly Emperor Sutra. It was a great emperor's divine ability. No wonder it was so powerful. This movement technique was no different from spatial teleportation. Kuan-Peng-zi was still not afraid. A pair of wings appeared on his back. The laws of yin and yang circulated on them and slashed behind, turning into 2 heavenly blades. They collided with Leaf Doudinier's fist. The surroundings trembled, and Leaf Doudinier retreated. The black and white heavenly blades attacked, but in an instant, Leaf Doudinier used it again. 10,000 steps in an instant. He dodged quickly. He came forward and merged with the heaven and earth phenomenon, the immortal king descending to the 9th heaven. He formed a seal with both hands and enveloped Kuan-Peng-zi. 10,000 miles of deity ground. A barrier formed in front of him as if it had turned into an immortal world. A mysterious aura bloomed. Kuan-Peng-zi felt a huge pressure. In this deity ground, Leaf Doudinier was the ruler. Kuan-Peng-zi shouted angrily. The other party had a great emperor's divine ability. Did he not have one? Yin and yang reversed, and heaven and earth were reversed. Black and white light bloomed in his eyes, and a terrifying yin and yang power swept out. The entire deity ground shook violently. Endless mountains and rivers were shattered, and the sky was destroyed. It was a scene of the end of the world. Even the primordial battlefield outside was shaking nonstop. The surrounding people felt a terrifying aura that was about to tear their bodies apart. It was too terrifying. They retreated frantically. Boom! The deity ground in front of them shattered. Kuan-Peng-zi charged out powerfully. He covered yin and yang with one hand and attacked Leaf Doudinier. He sent Leaf Doudinier flying. Was he defeated? Countless people were shocked. Kuan-Peng-zi was too strong. However, Leaf Doudinier roared. Although cracks appeared on his body, they quickly healed. His recovery ability was too strong. Countless people were shocked. The ancient Tao Heart Sutra, Gu Feng gritted his teeth. The Dragon Prince also narrowed his eyes. The Yi family had a great emperor, who was called Celestial Emperor Yi. He was an extremely powerful figure, and the Celestial Emperor Sutra he left behind was all-encompassing. All kinds of divine abilities were endless. This recovery power was one of the ultimate techniques in the Heaven and Earth Sutra. He didn't expect Leaf Doudinier to cultivate this too. Was he going to become the second Celestial Emperor of the Yi family? So strong. Lin Xian was also surprised. These great emperors' ancient sutras were really terrifying. It seemed that none of the people in front of him were weak. He felt his blood boil. The others were even more surprised. Leaf Doudinier was not defeated and still had the strength to fight. The other party had the strength to compete with the imperial son. He was probably an uncrowned king. Chapter 51-59. Next, Yi Wudao and Kuan-Peng-zi fought again. All kinds of great emperor secret techniques appeared. Although Yi Wudao was suppressed and at a disadvantage, he wasn't defeated. This shocked everyone. Even if Yi Wudao wasn't crowned as a king, he had the right to do so. He was known as the uncrowned king. It would be difficult to determine the winner in a short time. Great! The Yi family was overjoyed. Their nurturing was not in vain. As expected, Daolis had a supreme demeanor. The dragon prince's eyes shone with a cold light. This was interesting. As expected, every great emperor was unique, seizing the fortune of heaven and earth. I wonder how the void ancient scripture is? He stared at Gu Feng. Gu Feng looked solemn. He snorted and charged forward. His body disappeared instantly. In an instant, he was above the 9 heavens. With a wave of his hands, countless cracks appeared in the void. Void exile. He wanted to exile the dragon prince into the darkness of the universe. Everyone was shocked. It was too powerful. It was really a fierce battle. They were extremely excited. Such a battle might not be seen once in a few thousand years. The others on the battlefield retreated. They didn't have the strength to participate in such a battle. Moreover, the energy storm could easily injure them. Hence, they retreated to the edge. The place where the dragon prince was instantly swallowed by the darkness and disappeared. The people of the dragon palace were nervous, but the people of the 1,000 Dragon dynasty sneered. It was impossible to defeat the dragon prince. Indeed, not long after, a dragon claw covered the sky and tore through the void. The dragon prince came back from the universe and roared furiously. True Dragon 9 transformations. The terrifying giant dragon rolled, and every time it did so, it would destroy the heavens and earth. Gu Feng felt a huge threat. He swept his hands in all directions. So close, yet so far. Endless folded space condensed and terrifying power entered the folded space. Although it looked dangerous, it couldn't hurt him. Void God Finger. After getting rid of the danger, Gu Feng pointed with his finger. There were endless mysterious Tao runes on his finger. This was a supreme technique of the void scripture. His finger disappeared in an instant. No one knew where it would come from. Boom. All of a sudden, he dashed out in front of the dragon prince, aiming for the dragon prince's glabella. This finger was capable of destroying everything. The dragon emperor was infuriated and struck out with his palm. However, this palm was a combination of illusion and reality. It actually struck empty air. An extremely terrifying radiance erupted from his eyes. Eyes of the divine dragon. Divine light shot out from his eyes, shattering everything. Master Hollow God was blocked. Then, the dragon prince strode forward. You have angered me. Terrifying killing intent appeared in his eyes as he charged towards Gu Feng. Heavenly Dragon Hand. He stretched out his arm and tore the 9 heavens apart. Gu Feng kept dodging, and the two of them started fighting again. The dragon prince was very terrifying, and he was angry, so Gu Feng was in danger. Fortunately, he cultivated the space god art, so he could rely on his elusive movement technique to avoid danger many times. But even so, he was still at a disadvantage. A great battle broke out on the 2 battlefields, and the 2 imperial princes displayed their might. However, the more Leaf Daudinier and Ancient Wind fought, the fiercer they became. He didn't seem to be defeated at all. This left countless people shocked. 2 crowned kings, 2 uncrowned kings. It really was too shocking. The battle continued for 500 moves. Suddenly, both sides exploded with power and retreated. The 4 of them spread out in all directions and faced each other. A terrifying aura spread out in all directions. The surrounding people didn't dare to say a word. Their hearts were in their mouths. It was too shocking. Leaf Daudinier didn't attack Kuan Pengzi anymore. Instead, he turned around and looked at Gu Feng. He used the Immortal King Descends to the 9 heavens and charged over. Gu Feng also charged over. Void God Finger. A great battle broke out between the 2 sides, and countless people became excited. The 2 uncrowned kings were fighting. What about the 2 crowned kings? They looked at the 2 imperial princes. The dragon prince said, I said that I will defeat you with my own hands. I am the strongest imperial prince. He used the true Dragon 9 transformations and charged over. The 9 dragons roared together, and at the same time, their eyes were filled with a destructive divine light that swept through everything. Kuan Pengzi snorted coldly. You don't have the right. He seemed to have turned into the god of yin and yang, and he was incomparably powerful. Yin and yang alternated, and the universe was reversed. The terrifying world shattered, and the 2 imperial princes finally began to fight. This time, the power was too terrifying. Even Leaf Doudinier and Gu Feng quickly retreated. They pulled away. The battle between the two imperial princes could destroy everything. The four of them fought for another 600 moves and stood in four directions again. Everyone's face was a little solemn. It seemed that if they didn't use their trump cards, they wouldn't be able to determine the winner. The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. I didn't expect that other than Lin Wudi, you two would appear. It seems that I have to take out my real trump card. The Dragon Prince's bloodline erupted. A terrifying aura spread between heaven and earth. Leaf Doudinier and Gu Feng looked solemn. Was the final battle about to begin? Kuan Pengzi also nodded. It was time to determine the winner. Countless people were excited. They knew that the young paragon would be born between the four of them. They wondered who it would be. The Dragon Prince's aura became more and more terrifying. He had originally prepared this move to deal with Lin Xian. However, it was a pity that he was dead. Well, I'll use this move to send you guys on your way. He was ready to attack. At this moment, an iron staff fell from the sky. Who dares to say that my brother Lin is the younger brother? With a boom, heaven and earth shattered. The Dragon Prince's pupils constricted, and he quickly retreated. Kuan Pengzi, Gu Feng, and Leaf Doudinier also dodged quickly. The area in front of them instantly turned into chaos. Another expert had arrived? Who was it that could scare off four top-notch experts? Everyone looked carefully. It's him. Some of the older generation exclaimed. They saw a monkey holding an iron staff, walking in the air. Wasn't that the monkey who had been crowned king? Back then, this monkey had attacked Kuan Pengzi and the Dragon Prince. They didn't expect him to appear again. It's you. The Dragon Prince's face became extremely cold. This monkey was with Lin Xian. He had once made him grit his teeth. The surrounding people also felt their scalps go numb. For example, the geniuses of the Blue Clan and the Dragon Sea Clan were terrified. How could they forget that there was such a monkey? He was also on the side of the Divine Union. If the other party attacked them, would they be able to withstand it? At the thought of this, they felt a lingering fear. However, they soon laughed. No matter how strong the other party was, could he defeat the Dragon Prince? The Dragon Prince was definitely the strongest now. After killing this monkey, they would destroy the Divine Union. They would see who would dare to go against them. The Dragon Prince's face was extremely cold. Monkey, I prepared a move for Lin Xian. He won't be able to use it, but it can send you to hell. The Dragon Prince's body exploded with a fierce killing intent, sweeping across the 9 heavens. Sun Qitian shouted coldly, pointing his iron staff forward. You couldn't do anything to me before. Do you think you can hurt me now? Ridiculous. I'll suppress you today. He was fearless. However, at this moment, a faint voice was heard. Brother Monkey, let me deal with him. Chapter 5160. Brother Monkey, you don't have to do anything. Let me deal with him. Everyone was stunned when they heard the voice. Who dared to say such big words and call the other party Brother Monkey? Could it be? They thought of a possibility, but it was quickly denied. Wasn't that person already dead? The void in the distance was broken and a figure walked out. Everyone raised their heads and was shocked. It's really him. He's still alive. Great. He's here. The people of the Divine Union were excited. Yi Wudao's lips curled up. I knew it. He couldn't have died. The people of the Dragon Palace were stunned. How could this be? He's still alive. The people of the Blue Tribe were so scared that they almost fainted. Lin Xian, you're still alive? The Dragon Prince gritted his teeth. This was really unexpected. Didn't they say that Lin Xian died in sky punishment? Why is he here? Sun Qitian laughed out loud. Great. Brother Lin, I knew it. You won't die. Countless voices were heard. Lin Xian's appearance caused a commotion. The older generation experts and terrifying geniuses were all shocked. A dead person was standing in front of them again. He wasn't dead. He had survived sky punishment. Oh my God, the Crown King was still alive. He was indeed a Crown King. This battle was going to be interesting. Everyone was excited. Lin Xian was also the Crown King. Who would be stronger in this battle between the young paragons? Would Lin Xian and the Dragon Prince fight again? Who would win and who would lose this time? Countless questions arose in their hearts. Kuanpengzi's eyes were shining with a cold radiance. Looks like we can still stand against each other. He stared at Lin Xian with a cold radiance in his eyes. Lin Xian nodded. As you wish. However, now is not the time. I'll settle my grudges first. Lin Xian's gaze swept in all directions. He stared at a figure, Long Lei. He took a step forward and stood in front of the other party. You dared to attack the people of the Divine Union and hurt my friend? Lin Xian looked down from above and asked coldly. Long Lei was so scared that she started to tremble. Her face was even uglier than crying. He dared to make a move before because he knew that Lin Wuti was dead and the Dragon Prince was behind him. That was why he dared to attack the Divine Dragon. Now that he was facing Lin Wuti, he wouldn't dare even if he had 100 guts. You? What do you want? The Dragon Prince is here. Don't be too arrogant. Long Lei gritted his teeth and said. Lin Xian raised his hand and sent him flying with a slap. The dragon lightning turned into a bloody mist, its body and soul destroyed. Dead. Countless people were terrified. Long Lei was also a genius of his generation, a top-notch expert. Previously, he had swept through many experts. But in front of Lin Xian, he couldn't even withstand a single slap. This gave everyone a great shock. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people's pupils constricted. How dare you? They shouted angrily. Why wouldn't I dare? Lin Xian turned around and stared at the blue race. You've attacked the Divine Union before, right? He sent out another slap. The blue race's elite shouted crazily, trying to block it. But with a single slap, he turned into a bloody mist. Another one died. Everyone's hearts beat wildly. He was too strong. He killed with a single blow, not giving his enemy any chance to survive. After the blue race, Long Hai, the Golden Crow race, and the Purple Mansion race all had top geniuses who were turned into bloody mists by Lin Xian. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen top geniuses had fallen. These people couldn't even withstand a single slap. The others were terrified, as if they were facing a great enemy. As for the sects and families, they were gnashing their teeth. Damn it! Lin Xian didn't care about these people. He came to Qin Xian'er's side and smiled. How serious were the injuries from before? Qin Xian'er's eyes were red. She shook her head. She was fine. Her foundation wasn't damaged. Lin Xian said, Don't worry, I'll avenge you. He turned around and stared at Gu Feng, his eyes shining with a cold light. It's time to settle our grudges. If you apologize to Qin Xian'er obediently now, I can spare you later. What a joke. What right do you have to look for me? Do I need you to spare me? Gu Feng snorted coldly. Lin Xian, you're too arrogant. You killed more than a dozen top geniuses the moment you arrived. How dare you threaten me now? Although you're the crown king, I'm also an existence that cultivates the ancient scripture of Earth. I can even challenge the Thearch's son, let alone you. I've long wanted to attack you. I'm not very satisfied with the title of the uncrowned king. I want to kill you and obtain the title of the crown king. I'm afraid you don't have the strength. Lin Xian strode forward. Then, he slapped out. Gu Feng snorted coldly and struck out a huge crack. The collision between the two was earth-shattering. The void above the 9 heavens was broken in an instant. Retreat quickly. The surrounding people retreated one after another. Another 2 young giants were fighting. The people of the Gu family were extremely nervous. Although Gu Feng's strength had increased greatly, Lin Wuti was too strong before. Everyone had heard of his reputation and rumors. Now that he had returned to the Yuheng continent, how strong would he be now? The elders of the Gu family said that with Gu Feng's talent, he would definitely not be defeated this time. Even when he fought with the Dragon Prince previously, he was only at a disadvantage. Fighting with Lin Wuti, there wouldn't be any accidents. Maybe the 2 of them would be evenly matched. Everyone was looking forward to it. Gu Feng's previous performance was enough to shock everyone. Therefore, they really wanted to see the next battle. To what extent would it reach? Gu Feng snorted coldly. Kid, I'll let you know my recent strength. He roared angrily and took the initiative to attack. Void Exile. 24 large cracks enveloped Lin Xian, forming an endless black hole that swallowed Lin Xian. This move was very terrifying. Previously, the Dragon Prince was banished into the void. However, Lin Xian stood there with monstrous sword chi on his body. Countless spatial cracks couldn't swallow him. Oh God! He wasn't banished. Did the power of space lose its effect? This Lin Wuti was already so strong? Exclamations sounded one after another. The people of the Gu family were also shocked. It was impossible. Void exile didn't have any effect at all? Even if the other party was banished and returned in an instant, they could accept it. But now that Lin Xian wasn't banished at all, they really couldn't accept it. What a strong physique. Yi Wudao stood in the distance, shocked. The Dragon Prince's face darkened. Why? He had a feeling of uneasiness. This Lin Wuti, had he become stronger recently? Lin Xian stood there, allowing the countless large cracks to envelop him. He was fearless as he looked forward and said coldly, "It's useless. You're not my opponent at all. Not in the past, not now, and not in the future." Apologize to Qin Xiener obediently. You want me to apologize? Dream on. Gu Feng was also angry. Void great destruction. He formed a seal with his palm, and the power of bloodline erupted. The great emperor's ancient scripture was activated, and the 24 cracks instantly exploded, emitting a destructive aura. It wanted to tear everything apart. This was a peerless technique that could destroy countless worlds. Chapter 5161. Sensing this destructive aura, Lin Xian snorted coldly and clenched his fist. Six-path fist. He punched out with an indomitable will and collided with the destructive power. He charged out forcefully. The destructive spatial cracks were all shattered by him. He charged forward like a god of war. It's useless. I told you, you're no match for me. Seeing this scene, countless people were stunned. Oh heavens! He shattered again. The people from the Gu family frowned. Damn it! Another divine power has been broken. What was going on? The people from the Thousand Dragon Dynasty, the Yi family, and even the Heaven sect were also frowning. Has Gu Feng become weaker? That's impossible. Previously, Gu Feng was able to withstand thousands of moves from the Dragon Prince. How powerful was that? But now, he could not do anything to Lin Xian at all. Could it be? They thought of a possibility, but upon closer inspection, they realized that Lin Xian's aura was not that terrifying. Looking at the figure charging towards him, Gu Feng's face turned cold. He did not run away. With a wave of his sleeve, he used Boundless Horizon. A folded space appeared in front of him. It enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt as if he had entered a quagmire, although he was less than a meter away from his opponent. However, this punch did not seem to be able to hit his opponent at all. Useless brat, your understanding of spatial divine powers is too shallow. Let me show you what it means to be the king of space. Gu Feng stood there, looking down like a god. Great, he got hit. The people from the country heaved a sigh of relief. I knew it. How could Gu Feng's method be ineffective? Now that Gu Feng was about to show his power, he was going to beat Lin Xian up. I can't hit you? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. It's just a folded space. A cold light burst out from his eyes, and his fist suddenly exploded. With a bang, the folded space shattered. Gu Feng took a punch to the face and was sent flying. His body flew into the distance like a kite with a broken string, directly shattering the void. He landed on the battlefield. The entire battlefield shook violently, and countless shattered black holes floated between heaven and earth. What happened? Everyone was stunned. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The eyes of the Gu clan's people almost popped out of their sockets. Prince Dragon, Leaf Daudinier, and the others all gasped. That was impossible. The older generation experts cried out in surprise. Folding space, a distance of 1 meter, could be folded millions of miles. Their attacks couldn't hit him at all. Leaf Daudinier, Dragon Prince, and Kuan Pengzi had all been blocked by the folded space. But now, Lin Xian actually sent Gu Feng flying with a single punch. How did it do that? This guy. Kuan Pengzi's eyes flickered. The Dragon Prince's face was gloomy and cold. Gu Feng, who was in the distance, roared crazily. His face was badly damaged, but it was slowly recovering. His eyes were red and filled with killing intent. Damn it, what's going on? His brain was blank. Damn kid, I'm going to kill you. He quickly charged over. Void God Finger. He pointed out with his finger, appearing and disappearing like a ghost. When he reappeared, he was already at Lin Xian's forehead. It wanted to pierce through his soul. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Demon God Finger. Facing this attack, he was still fearless. He also pointed out with his finger. There were extremely terrifying demonic runes on it. The two collided, shaking heaven and earth. At the last moment, the Void God Finger shattered and broke in half. Gu Feng screamed and retreated. White bones appeared on his finger. That was impossible. Nothing was impossible. He said that he was no match for him. Lin Xian attacked. Demon God Seal. With one strike, a large black seal enveloped heaven and earth. Gu Feng's pupils constricted. He instantly merged into the void and disappeared, appearing on the other side. However, he was then chased by Lin Xian. If it weren't for his spatial powers, he would have been defeated long ago. Even so, he didn't have the strength to fight back. Too powerful. Countless people were shocked by this scene. As expected of Lin Wudi, the person who was crowned as a king was even better than that. Yes, Gu Feng was at a disadvantage when fighting the Dragon Prince. He was still suppressed when fighting Lin Wudi. Moreover, he didn't even have the strength to fight back. It seemed that he was still far inferior to Lin Wudi. Some experts commented one after another. The faces of the Gu family members darkened. He couldn't compare to Lin Wudi? Damn it. The faces of the people from the 10,000 Dragon Court were cold. It seemed that Lin Wudi's strength had also increased. They wondered if the Dragon Prince had the confidence to defeat him this time. When Gu Feng heard those people's discussion, he was exasperated. He had always been suppressed by Lin Xian, whether it was in the second astral realm or after coming to the Hidden Emperor Star. Lin Xian's strength had surpassed his. Now that he cultivated the void ancient scripture, he thought that he could change the situation. He was even very happy that Lin Xian had died. But now that Lin Xian had returned alive and suppressed him, he couldn't tolerate it. Sky-severing palm. With an angry roar, he no longer dodged and struck out with his palm. This strike cut off heaven and earth. The void palm covered the sky and earth, wanting to refine Lin Xian. You're courting death. Lin Xian snorted coldly and waved his arm. Sword chi shot up into the sky one after another, causing the giant palm in the air to shake nonstop. Then, he used Shadowless Heaven's Net, appearing and disappearing unpredictably. Azura Sword Technique, Fourth Sword. When the sword slashed out, it shocked heaven and earth. Gu Feng hurriedly used it as if he was facing a great enemy. He hid in the void. However, how could he escape? If he was in the same realm as Lin Xian, it would be easy for him to escape. After all, he also cultivated the great emperor's ancient scripture. But now, Lin Xian had become a great sage, and his strength had changed drastically. Moreover, he also used the great emperor's ancient scripture. In addition, the great dragon sword soul had an indestructible power. This sword directly pierced through the void. A figure spat out blood and flew out. Half of his body was split open, and blood dripped down. Everyone was stunned when they saw this scene. Gu Feng was injured. He was almost split in half. It was too shocking. Damn it, Gu Feng's broken body had healed, and there was a mysterious aura on it. It recovered. He attacked again. Void Seal. He formed a seal with his palm and slapped out. 81 seals between heaven and earth attacked Lin Xian. They hit Lin Xian's body, making a loud clanging sound. Lin Xian roared, and the 9 young divine body bloomed, blocking everything. Another sword slashed out. Gu Feng spat out blood again. This time, he was completely split open. He screamed and fell into the sea of blood. No. Why? Why can you injure me? Gu Feng was completely dumbfounded. Although he was at a disadvantage in the battle with the Dragon Prince, he didn't suffer such serious injuries. Could it be that Lin Wudi was even more terrifying than the Dragon Prince? The others were also dumbfounded. Some of the older generation were shocked. The people of the Gu family had gone crazy. Yi Wudao's pupil shrank, and the Dragon Prince's face darkened. Could it be? At this moment, they all had a thought, and this thought was enough to shock them. Chapter 5162. Why did he lose so miserably? Gu Feng roared crazily. He couldn't accept it. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Stupid thing, do you really not understand the difference between us? You and I are not in the same realm. If you hadn't cultivated the ancient void scripture, you would have died 100 times. A cold voice sounded, making Gu Feng despair. In the next moment, he seemed to have thought of something and roared in horror. Not in the same realm? Could it be that you have broken through to become a supreme sage? The surrounding spectators also gasped. Indeed, they also had the same thought. Even the crown prince couldn't beat Gu Feng to such a miserable state. After all, they didn't use any extreme weapons. Now that Lin Xian had injured Gu Feng so easily, there was only one explanation. That meant that Lin Xian's strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. And such a change in strength could only be caused by a breakthrough in cultivation. However, Lin Xian's cultivation wasn't that terrifying, so they were confused before. Lin Xian stood there and said proudly, "That's right, I'm already a supreme sage now." Boom, boom. His voice was like thunder from the 9 heavens, causing everyone to be stunned. He had broken through. He had really broken through. Countless people exclaimed. The experts of the remote antiquity families and the peerless sects gasped. The people of the Gu family and the Yi family were also shocked. The people of the 1,000-dragon court instantly had ugly expressions. The people of the 3 Dao children side exclaimed. One had to know that the battle between the young giants was a competition of cultivation, trump cards, and divine abilities. The 4 people in front of them were all peak sage kings. Although there was a difference in bloodline, they all cultivated the ancient earth scripture. Therefore, it was difficult to determine the winner. Even if the 2 crown princes had the upper hand, it wouldn't be easy for them to defeat the other 2. There was only one situation where they could win completely, and that was to break through to become a supreme sage first. This was also the reason why the Dragon Prince wanted to hold the supreme battle. They had already reached a bottleneck in their cultivation and needed a life-and-death battle. They needed pressure to break through. But now, Lin Xian had broken through ahead of time, which ruined the Dragon Prince's plan. Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian was probably above everyone. Damn it, I don't believe it. You broke through? Gu Feng roared furiously, charging over again. Using his spatial divine art, he appeared behind Lin Xian and struck out with the great palm print and the sky-severing palm. However, Lin Xian sent him flying with a kick. This was a complete beating. Gu Feng felt despair. The other party had really broken through. Lin Xian chased after him with large strides. Shadowless Heaven's net speed was unpredictable. The Heavenly Secret's sacred art locked onto the other party. At the same time, the unstoppable sword qi in his hand descended. Gu Feng screamed miserably as his body shattered several times. Lin Xian sneered and apologized to Qin Xiener. Gu Feng spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, they've gone too far. Lin Xian coldly snorted. He drew the 100,000 Devil Mountains, suppressing heaven and earth. When you attacked Qin Xiener, did you think that you were going too far? If you don't apologize, don't blame me for killing you. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Boom. Gu Feng shouted angrily. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying aura erupted from his body, capable of destroying heaven and earth. Everyone's hair stood on end. The might of the extreme Tao. It seemed that the void mirror was also on the other party. Gu Feng descended like a god. At this moment, he was extremely powerful. Kid, do you want me to use my final trump card? Feeling the extreme Tao Qi, Lin Xian was still not afraid. Do you think you're the only one with an extreme Tao weapon? Besides, isn't this a battle between young sovereigns? Do you want to use an extreme Tao weapon? Do you want to be ridiculed by the world? Someone like you wants to be crowned a king? How dare you call yourself a sovereign? Do you have any shame? Don't make me look down on you. Lin Xian sneered. Gu Feng's face turned ugly. He did not make a move. The others were also discussing this matter. Lin Xian's coronation was equivalent to reaching the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. It was obtained with one's own strength. Whether it was Lin Xian, the Dragon Prince, or Kuren Pong, none of them were able to use an extreme Tao weapon when they ascended the Sacred Abyss Tower. This was the result of countless trials and tribulations. Now, Gu Feng wanted to forcefully use an extreme Dao weapon. This was already a sign of admitting defeat. Moreover, would he be able to kill Lin Xian with just an extreme-grade weapon? Everyone did not think so. Previously, the Dragon Prince had also used the 10,000 Dragons diagram and was also helpless against Lin Xian. On the Divine Union side, the Crimson Dragon snorted. "Hurry up and get lost. Don't embarrass yourself." Toad sneered. "You dare to participate in the battle between sovereigns? Is there no one else in the Gu family?" The people beside him mocked and ridiculed while the others discussed. The Gu family was trembling with anger. Gu Feng also shouted angrily, "Shut up, kid, just you wait." He did not continue to fight. Instead, he stayed in the void with a gloomy expression. Lin Xian did not let him off. "I said, apologize to Qin Xing otherwise, even if you use the void mirror today, I will still make you regret it." Countless terrifying black holes appeared around Lin Xian. Everyone's face turned ugly. If the two extreme Dao weapons were used, the primordial battlefield would be penetrated. The Gu family expert shouted angrily, "Lin Wudi, don't be too presumptuous." However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I am presumptuous. What can you do about it?" With a wave of his hand, the terrifying black holes charged towards the Gu family. The Gu family elders were scared out of their wits. They all used spatial teleportation to escape quickly. When they arrived on the other side, their faces turned green. Damn it, this was a lunatic. He did things without any scruples. Should he apologize? Lin Xian sneered. The Gu family members were helpless. An elder said, "Gu Feng, apologize to Fairy Qin. Fairy Qin does not have the strength of an emperor. It is not appropriate for you to attack her." Gu Feng gritted his teeth. Was he asking him to bow down? However, he was in a difficult position now. If they really fought, he would not be able to gain any advantage. Therefore, after thinking for a long time, he gritted his teeth and said, "Fairy Qin, I am sorry. I was rude before. I hope you don't blame me." No, it was nothing. Qin Xing's mind was blank. She had never thought that Gu Feng would apologize to her. He was a young powerhouse, an existence above the 9 heavens. Of course, all of this was because of Lin Xian. The surrounding people went crazy. An emperor-level genius actually lowered his head. This Lin Wudi was too domineering. Lin Wudi snorted coldly. "I will spare your life today. Next time, I will not let you off so easily." After saying that, he turned to look at the Dragon Prince and said coldly, "Let me see what kind of breakthrough you have recently. I hope you won't disappoint me." The surrounding people were in an uproar. Countless people widened their eyes in disbelief. Heavens, was Lin Wudi going to attack the Dragon Prince? Exclamations sounded one after another. From the moment he appeared, he had killed more than 10 geniuses and then beaten up Gu Feng. He made Gu Feng bow his head and apologize. Then, he directly challenged the Dragon Prince. His speed was so fast and his attitude was so strong that it exceeded everyone's strength. The expressions of the people from the 10,000 Dragons court changed. No, now that Lin Xian had broken through, he was above the emperor. If he fought the Dragon Prince now, wouldn't that be bullying? The elder of the nest of 10,000 dragons stood out. "Lin Xian, don't go too far. You are already a great sage. What right do you have to challenge the Dragon Prince?" "That's right. If you want to fight, suppress your cultivation and fight at the same level as the Dragon Prince." Chapter 5163. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared. They wouldn't allow this battle to happen. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian smiled. "Why are you afraid? I'm not challenging you. Do you have the right to talk to me?" He turned to look at the Dragon Prince and said coldly, "Why? As the son of the Dragon Emperor, you don't even have the courage to talk to me? Shut up. How dare you?" An elder of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty walked out and shouted coldly, "If you want to fight with the Dragon Prince, suppress your cultivation. That's right, otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Even if you win, it's an unfair victory." Angry shouts sounded one after another. Lin Xian laughed out loud when he heard that. He looked down at the 8 barren lands and said in a clear voice, "Unfair victory? Suppressing cultivation? What a joke. Let me ask you, What was the Dragon Prince's cultivation during the coronation? What was my cultivation? When he fought with me, did he suppress his cultivation? As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty also had ugly expressions because they remembered that the Dragon Prince was at the peak of his cultivation during the coronation. Lin Xian was only at the late stage, so there was a difference of one realm between them. When the two of them fought, the Dragon Prince didn't suppress his cultivation. Why? Do you remember now? Back then, the Dragon Prince was one realm higher than me. Didn't I still fight with him? Did I ask him to suppress his cultivation? Where were you guys back then? Why didn't you say that the Dragon Prince had an unfair victory? Back then, I was one realm lower than him, but I could still injure him. Now that he's one realm lower than me, does he not have confidence? Lin Xian stared at the Dragon Prince with a piercing gaze. Do you dare to fight with me? If you don't, then you're a piece of trash. From now on, you have no right to fight with me. You don't deserve to be my enemy. You. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared angrily. They could tell that Lin Xian's words were aimed at the Dragon Prince's heart. Even if the Dragon Prince didn't fight, this matter would still be a knot in his heart. It would probably leave a shadow, which was very fatal for martial arts cultivation. How did you break through? The Dragon Prince asked coldly, his eyes dark. Lin Xian laughed heartily when he heard this. You really disappoint me. You actually didn't accept my challenge. Instead, you asked me how I broke through. Are you envious? Well, as the son of the Dragon Emperor, you don't seem to put anyone in your eyes. You think you're the most talented, so you should be the first to break through, right? You have an emperor race's resources, and you have the strongest bloodline, but you still break through slower than me. Your talent is far inferior to mine. What qualifications do you have to be arrogant in front of me? I, Lin Xian, don't have the imperial bloodline, and don't have the imperial bloodline to rely on. And yet, I broke through to the great sage level before you did. There was no need to compare who was stronger or weaker. You are not qualified to be my opponent. Lin Xian retracted his gaze and stood in the air with his hands behind his back. It's lonely at the top. Being invincible is really lonely. Countless people looked up. The people of the Divine Union raised their arms and cheered. Invincible great sage. The others were also shocked. Had the previous Lin Wuti grown to such a level? Had he suppressed the Dragon Emperor so much that he couldn't even raise his head? The Dragon Emperor was furious. Shut up. Who says I don't dare to fight? So what if you break through? I can still defeat you. The Dragon Emperor's battle intent gradually exploded. Prince, you can't. The people of the 1,000 Dragon Dynasty were anxious. The Dragon Emperor waved his hand. Everyone, there's no need to say anymore. I believe in my bloodline and talent. Not to mention that he's just an early-stage great sage. I can even kill mid-stage or late-stage great sage people. Needless to say, it was him. I won't be afraid of this battle and I won't lose. Lin Wuti, make your move. I'll let you know that the difference in cultivation is nothing to the Emperor's son. Oh, you want to make a move? Okay, I'll let you use one hand. Lin Xian only stretched out one hand and waved it forward. Make your move, or you won't have a chance. Damn it! You dare to underestimate me? The Dragon Emperor shouted angrily and charged over. True Dragon 9 transformations. 9 giant dragons circled around his body. Each time they rolled, they brought with them a destructive power. Lin Xian's demon god seal hit the True Dragon 9 transformations and cracks appeared on it. The Dragon Emperor retreated. Damn, so strong. For the first time, he was shocked. That power made him feel a trace of fear. Lin Xian scoffed coldly. Is this all you've got? You can't even take a single hit? Don't disappoint me. Take out your strongest technique. Ah, Dragon God Fist. The Dragon Emperor clenched his fists and waved them about. Each fist drew out a true dragon. They danced in the air. It was also the Dragon Emperor's technique. Lin Xian used the 6-path fists to fight back. His unstoppable power shattered those true dragons. The 6-path worlds suppressed one another. At the same time, he said that he was too weak and that he couldn't do it. There was only one reason why he was so arrogant, and that was to target the Tao heart of the Dragon Prince. He knew that it was impossible for him to kill the Dragon Emperor in such a situation, but he wouldn't let him off. He wanted to shatter his Tao heart. He wanted to make him feel despair. To a genius, despair and a stagnant cultivation was worse than death. This was Lin Xian's goal. His words hit the Dragon Emperor's heart. The Dragon Prince was really mad. A golden light flashed in Lin Xian's eyes. His powerful eye technique combined with his sharp words. He said coldly, "It seems like even if I give you a handicap of one hand, you won't be my match. Okay, I'll let you see the strength of a great saint." After saying that, he formed a seal. The Taiji diagram appeared and slapped forward. Yin and Yang energy covered the sky and sent the Dragon Emperor flying. One of the Dragon Emperor's arms broke and cracks appeared on his body. The Dragon Emperor's blood scattered in the sky. "No, Prince." The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty went crazy. The others were shocked too. Kuan Pengzi's pupils constricted. How did he know the power of Yin and Yang? His eyes shone with a black and white light as he stared at the Taiji diagram. At that moment, the others were shocked too. This Lin Xian actually knew the power of Yin and Yang. Why do I feel like his Yin and Yang laws aren't weaker than Kuan Pengzi's? Heavens, he actually had such a trump card. The Dragon Emperor spat out blood and flew backward. His face was pale. How was that possible? He felt that the attack just now had cost him a lot of vitality. He had only felt the Yin and Yang laws from Kuan Pengzi. It was so terrifying. He didn't expect Lin Xian to have it too. Lin Xian looked forward and shook his head. Ants were pitifully weak. Pooh. The Dragon Emperor spat out blood again. He didn't believe it. He took out his dragon spear and charged over again. At this moment, the illusion of a true dragon circled around him. It was the illusion of his bloodline. He used his bloodline to the extreme. Competing in weapons? Lin Xian took out the great spear of destruction. Demonic chi filled the air. He attacked aggressively as if he had turned into a demon god. The two collided, shaking heaven and earth. However, after 3 moves, the Dragon Prince was suppressed. He was sent flying and smashed into the void. To be honest, I can suppress you in all aspects. It seems that you don't have any surprises at all. Let's end it then. Lin Xian's eyes erupted with a terrifying aura. The Taiji diagram appeared again, turning into the Yin god and Yang god. He reached out his hand and grabbed the Dragon Emperor, wanting to tear him into pieces. Chapter 51-64. The two silhouettes stood tall like heavenly gods. The surrounding people were terrified when they saw this. What kind of mystical power was this? Kuan Pengzi's expression was also extremely solemn. Was the other party's yin-yang law already so terrifying? The Dragon Prince was grabbed by the yin-yang palm and felt a huge force tearing at him. He shouted angrily and tried his best to resist, but cracks appeared on his body. Damn it! His eyes were filled with killing intent. He wouldn't allow his body to shatter. A monstrous extreme Tao aura appeared and separated the yin-yang god. He stood above the 9 heavens, and his powerful aura swept across everything. Countless people were terrified. Was he going to use the 10,000 dragons picture? Lin Xian put away the Taiji diagram and sneered as he looked ahead. You've already lost. Young supreme beings relied on their own strength, but you actually used an extreme Tao weapon. What right do you have to be called a supreme being? Damn it! The Dragon Prince's black hair fluttered in the wind. He was so angry that he vomited blood. He felt that his Tao heart had cracked because he really couldn't accept this fact. No, Prince, calm your Tao heart. He's deliberately angering you. Those people from the 10,000 Dragons dynasty roared crazily. At the same time, they gritted their teeth. Damn kid, if you dare to destroy the prince's Tao heart again, I'll destroy your soul. Lin Xian laughed out loud. Did he need me to destroy his Tao heart? Wasn't what I said the truth? He's inferior to me. Lin Xian stood above the 9 heavens and looked down. If you're not convinced, you can attack. If you can't do it alone, I'll allow you to attack together. At this moment, Lin Xian was extremely powerful. Then, he looked at the Dragon Prince and Kuan Pengzi and said, the two of you can also join forces. As soon as he said this, everyone was in an uproar. Let the two imperial princes join forces? How powerful was this guy? He was too confident. Damn it. How dare he look down on me? The dragon emperor gritted his teeth and trembled in anger. Kuanpengzi also said, I don't need to join forces with anyone. I want to compete with you in the power of yin and yang. Yin and yang aura surrounded his body. Black and white light shone in his eyes, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Sure, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian struck out with a palm, striking out with a taiji diagram. He charged over, turning into a yin-yang god. The collision between the two was earth-shattering. After exchanging 3 moves, Kuanpengzi was pushed back. Lin Wudi, I didn't expect you to be the first to become a great saint. This battle wasn't over yet. This was just a test. When I break through to become a great sage, I'll fight you again. After saying that, he flew into the distance and disappeared. He left. Countless people were stunned. They didn't expect Kuanpengzi to leave just like that. The people of the sky sect sighed. What else could they do but leave? The current Lin Xian was already above all the other geniuses. Even if they were to compete in strength, no one would be able to defeat the other. There was no point in staying here. Lin Xian looked at the dragon prince and asked, Are you leaving too? I'll give you a chance to escape. Damn it. Prince Dragon gritted his teeth, but he didn't dare to do anything. He had even been afraid that Lin Xian would launch a sneak attack, so he had placed the 10,000 dragons diagram around him. Lin Xian snorted coldly. What a coward. He felt that he had done enough. He had already caused cracks to appear in the Dragon Prince's image. He didn't need to do anything else. His strength was the Dragon Prince's inner demon. The Dragon Prince would destroy his own Tao heart. He only needed to do one last thing. After saying that, he looked around at the spectators. It seemed like many experts and geniuses had come. Well, I'll announce to the world that I, Lin Wudi, will be the invincible great saint from now on. Anyone who dares to challenge me or the divine union will be killed without mercy. The cold voice resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Everyone was shocked at this moment. The young geniuses were filled with despair. The invincible great saint was too terrifying. There was also Old Sun. At this moment, Sun Qitian also walked out. He had been silently watching the battle. Now, he walked out and stood beside Lin Xian. His iron rod shook the sky and shattered the earth. Old Sun's name is Sun Qitian. From now on, I'll be the great saint, heaven's equal. With a roar, the 9 heavens and 10 earths shook. The aura of a great saint swept out from his body and shattered the earth. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Heavens, another great saint had appeared? Sun Qitian had also broken through? Everyone was shocked. Previously, they had suspected that Sun Qitian was an emperor. Even if he wasn't, he had the strength of an emperor. If he had also broken through and become a great saint, wouldn't that mean that he was above the Dragon Prince and the others? Even Lin Xian was stunned. Monkey King had also broken through? Soon, he smiled. Very well, let's see what the Dragon Prince would do. When the Dragon Prince saw Lin Xian, who was known as the invincible great saint, he was already furious. Now that he saw Sun Qitian break through, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his body swayed. Why? Why could these two people break through but not him? Could it be that he was weaker than these two? He couldn't accept it. He roared at the sky as if he had gone mad. The mountains in the surrounding millions of miles were shattered. Prince, the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court have gone mad. Prince, please calm down. They are affecting your Tao heart. But it was useless. The Dragon Prince naturally knew that Lin Xian was using a psychological attack, but it couldn't suppress his anger at all. In the end, he fell from the sky. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court rushed over and caught him. Let's go. They rushed into the sky and gritted their teeth. Lin Wudi, just you wait. I'll teach you a lesson anytime. Lin Xian said calmly. Sun Qitian snorted coldly. Anyone who dares to go against Brother Lin is my enemy. Everyone was terrified. 2 great sages on the level of imperial princes were more than enough to crush anything in their path. Even a great saint would have to bow down in front of them. To subdue such people, one had to be at least a great saint. But such people were at the patriarch level, even in the remote antiquity families. They wouldn't make a move unless they had no choice. After that, the battle ended, and everyone left one after another. However, the news had already spread. For a moment, the entire Yuanguang continent was shocked. The Dragon Prince was defeated, and Kuan Pengzi was scared away. Heavens! The disciples of the two emperors ended up like this. Who did it? What? Lin Wudi returned. He didn't die. He became a great saint and swept away everything. Heavens! Lin Wudi broke through first. Countless people were shocked. This was an extremely incredible thing. What? Another monkey broke through to become a great saint? In an instant, the invincible great saint, heavens equal spread throughout the 9 heavens. When everyone heard about it, they were extremely envious. On the other side, the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court had cold expressions. They didn't expect that this time, they would shoot themselves in the foot. The Dragon Prince was extremely depressed. He asked around for news, and finally, one day, he fainted from anger. He was the one who initiated this young paragon battle to create an opportunity for him to break through. But he lost and embarrassed himself. Everyone knew that he was defeated by Lin Xian. Chapter 5165. He had never been defeated in his life. However, he had suffered continuously at the hands of Lin Xian. His Tao heart had finally cracked. This caused his cultivation to stagnate. The aura on his body had also weakened. No, the people of the 1,000 Dragon Court had gone crazy. They had seen this scene before. Long Ao's heart had been shattered by Lin Xian, and he was like a cripple. Was the Dragon Prince going to repeat the same mistake? No, they wouldn't allow it. After killing Lin Wudi, they were prepared to send out experts. However, Lin Xian had already returned to the Tao. The ancestors of the Tao were alarmed. The barbarian god ancestor came out personally to protect him. At the same time, the Tao sect announced that if any ancestors dared to make a move on Lin Xian, the Tao sect would annihilate them. Damn it, they couldn't make a move. This guy was so careful that the people of the 1,000 Dragon Court didn't even have a chance to attack. The Dragon Prince's situation was getting more and more dangerous. How could this be? The Dragon Prince had been injured by the Tao and had finally recovered. Now, his Tao heart was broken. He had to recover. The ancestors of the 1,000 Dragon Court had a discussion. They had to recover the Dragon Prince's Tao heart, even if they had to search for all the divine medicine in the world. In an instant, they quickly investigated the situation. On the other side, after Lin Xian and the others returned, the people of the Divine Union cheered. The Tao sect was also shocked. Although many of them supported the Dragon Prince, there were also people who supported Lin Xian. Now that Lin Xian had become an invincible great sage, these people were very excited. The Tao sect immediately held a banquet and invited everyone. They didn't even need to invite. The geniuses of the great sects and ancient families all came. The Nalan family's patriarch requested an audience. The Fire Dragon tribe's dragoness requested an audience. The Longevity Hall's hall master requested an audience. One voice after another was heard. These people were all here to visit Lin Xian. Although Lin Xian was only an early-stage great sage, his future was unparalleled. He might even become a great emperor. They had to be on good terms with such a person in advance. Uncle Bai and Susu were dumbfounded. They had only seen such a person come to visit them once. That time was the Tao sect's sacred assembly. An old ancestor of their Tao sect had come out, and these people were here to pay their respects. But now, these people were not here to pay respects to the ancestor, but to Lin Xian. For a young man to make countless experts bow their heads was enough to shock the world. Lin Xian stood with his hands clasped behind his back in the Divine Union, accepting their greetings calmly. In the world of martial arts, strength was respected. Although he was young, he definitely had the qualifications. Just the greeting alone had kept him busy for half a month. Half a month later, the number of people gradually decreased. Lin Xian also went into seclusion and did not see anyone else. Only a few core members were left behind to discuss the matter. At this moment, the arrival of a woman shocked countless people. Lin Xian was also surprised. "It's you. Why are you here?" The person who came was Yin Ruyu. She descended like a beautiful fairy. The people around the divine union were stunned. Murong Qingcheng had already shocked them. Who would have thought that there would be such a beautiful person? Bai Susu glared at Lin Xian and smiled faintly. You're really something. Lin Xian smiled bitterly and ignored the other party's sarcastic tone. Instead, he looked at Yin Ruyu. Why are you here? Yin Ruyu asked. Why are you not allowing me to see you? Are you afraid that Murong Qingcheng will be unhappy? How could that be? Lin Xian smiled. Come in quickly. He invited Yin Ruyu in. Before long, Yu Wudao also arrived. Lin Xian also invited him in. Monkey did not leave. The few of them gathered together, making the people of the divine union excited. These were all top-notch geniuses. Lin Xian, Monkey, and Yi Wudao were all emperor-level powerhouses. However, the newcomer, Yin Ruyu, was actually facing the three of them calmly. Everyone even felt a mysterious aura from her. Could it be that he was also a monarch's son? They were all stunned. All right, you guys can go to your own things. Lin Xian brought these people to the secret room. The others could not enter. Bai Susu said, go to your own things. She knew that these people definitely had something important to discuss. Moreover, it must be very shocking. Inside the secret room, they sat down. Yin Ruyu said, I'm here to look for you. I think you're thinking the same thing as me. Lin Xian smiled. What's the matter? Yin Ruyu said, there's no need for the Dragon Prince to exist. Yu Wudao sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be that you're thinking about it? He was really too shocked. Sun Qitian snorted coldly. I, old son, have long been unhappy with him. Brother Lin, if you want to make a move on him, call me. Lin Xian said, I do have such a plan. Previously, I only broke his Dao heart. However, it won't be easy to kill him. He has the 10,000 dragon diagram, an extreme weapon. Besides, even if I go all out, I won't be able to kill him. I know this too, which is why I came to look for you. Yin Ruyu sighed. What if the two of us join forces and use two extreme weapons? That might not be enough. Yi Wudao shook his head. The consequences of killing the Dragon Prince are too great. You have to think about it carefully. Lin Xian said, I only have half of the heaven-swallowing jar in my hand, but I still have the great dragon sword soul. It's enough to make up for the lack of combat strength. However, in order to fully revive these two items, the amount of energy required was simply too great. Sun Qitian said, there's no need to fully recover. Even if the Dragon Prince has the 10,000 dragon diagram, he won't be able to fully recover. As long as we restrain the 10,000 dragon diagram and separate the Dragon Prince from it, it'll be easy for us to kill him. Yi Wudao sighed. However, he was afraid that it wouldn't be easy. Now that his Dao heart was injured, he wouldn't come out easily. Even if he came out, he would be surrounded by peerless experts. There were even patriarch-level figures. Even if you attack, it'll be difficult for you to fight against them. Lin Xian said, if 2 isn't enough, what about 3? Yin Ruyu was shocked when she heard this. She looked at Yi Wudao. Your Yi family wants to make a move too? Yi Wudao smiled bitterly. I can't make this decision. Lin Xian said, it's not the Yi family's weapon. Qingcheng has returned to the Jade Pool. Maybe we can borrow the Desolate Tower. It seems like you're prepared. Yin Ruyu smiled. 3 extreme weapons can't kill him. Okay, I've decided to make a move. Sun Qitian was very happy. Yi Wudao sighed. Brother Lin, I'm afraid I can't help you this time, but I can provide you with the resources of 5 worlds. This was definitely a shocking amount of wealth. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Okay, then I won't be polite. I'll pay you back double in the future. He was indeed in urgent need of resources. Although Yi Wudao couldn't make a move, he could provide resources. At the same time, he could also give advice. He said that they had to think of a way to lure it out. The Dragon Prince's Dao heart was broken, so he had to find a way. However, he wouldn't be able to recover in a short time unless they found a heaven-defying treasure. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Okay, I'll let people spread the names of the invincible Great Sage and Great Sage equal to heaven. Create more legends to stimulate the Dragon Prince. It's impossible for him to recover his Dao heart. So, He can only come out to find treasures. When the time comes, we'll have a chance. Chapter 5166. I'll get the Black Sea Race to keep an eye on it. The Crimson Dragon said. Lin Xian said, that's fine. We'll go back and discuss it. If there's anything that can restore the Dao Heart, we'll spread the news. Next, they began to split up, mainly in two directions. First, they had to gather enough resources to activate the Apex weapon. Second, they had to find treasures that could restore the Dao Heart. At the same time, they had to keep an eye on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Yi Wudao gave him 5 world cores. Lin Xian accepted them with a bitter smile. Including the ones Yi Wudao had, he didn't have that many worlds. There were only 10 of them in total, and this small amount of worlds was only enough for an extreme-grade weapon to fully awaken once. Thinking about it, he was really poor. Beside him, Bai Susu, Nalan Liang, and the others rolled their eyes. 10 worlds worth of resources, and he was still poor. If word of this got out, the great sages would vomit blood. However, the Apex weapon was too extraordinary. The resources it used were too much. It was a completely different realm from the Great Sage realm. So, 10 worlds really wasn't enough. Bai Susu said, I'll go to my father and see how many world cores I can get. Right? Go to the Patriarch. Also, go to the clans that are allied with us. In any case, they're on your side. Just borrow some resources now. They'll definitely give it to you. Lin Xian nodded. If he became a great emperor, the clans that supported him would receive endless benefits. So, Lin Xian wouldn't be polite to them. In the end, Bai Susu brought back 3 world cores. Lin Xian borrowed 3 from the Savage Wilderness Patriarch. Then, he gave the clans that supported him 2 world stars each. In addition to what Lin Xian had before, he had a total of 30 worlds. It was barely enough. After all, other than the heaven-devouring crown and the great dragon sword soul, he only had enough. He also had Murong Qingqing's desolate tower. So, it was just barely enough. Finally, Murong Qingqing returned with the desolate tower and 10 world stars. A total of 40. Yin Ruyu could provide 20 of them. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, it was done. This time, he had to succeed. They had sacrificed too much to kill the Dragon Prince. Therefore, he had to get rid of the other party. The Crimson Dragon had returned from the Dragon Sea, and he had also brought 20 Crimson Dragons from the Dragon Sea. He said that Long Hai was still collecting. If there wasn't enough, he would continue. This time, even if he had to pay the price, he had to kill the other party. Lin Xian was delighted. With Long Hai's full support, their chances of success would increase greatly. Now that the problem of resources had been solved, all that was left was to wait for the right opportunity. While waiting and cultivating, the people outside were gathering information. On this day, Lin Xian frowned. This was because the heaven-devouring jar kept sending out messages that seemed to be calling for him. The sky-swallowing jar swallowed a dragon boat with many people inside. In order to keep his whereabouts a secret, he sealed these people. Now that he had injured the Dragon Prince, he could let these people go. With a flash, Lin Xian left the Divine Union and arrived at the edge of the path. He waved his hand and created a vortex. A dragon boat flew out of the vortex. Lin Xian said, I'll leave the dragon boat behind. You guys can leave. The people on the dragon boat heaved a sigh of relief. Thank you for not killing us, young master. They had been on tenterhooks for the past few days, thinking that Lin Xian would kill them. Now, they could finally leave. Before they left, they said, Don't worry, young master. We won't tell anyone about what happened. Lin Xian didn't care. The Dragon Prince's Dao heart had been broken by him. Why would he care about the dragon boat? Those people left. Lin Xian stared at Fairy Yuing and said, Were you the one who kept sending me voice transmissions? Fairy Yuing was pale and nervous. She said, Lin Gongzi, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. It's just that I really have something urgent and can't delay any longer. You said it's a family matter, right? Go ahead. Lin Xian nodded and didn't think too much about it. Fairy Yuing said, Where is this place? Can you give me a map? Is Mount Eternal far away? Lin Xian was surprised. You want to go to Mount Eternal? That's a place of death. Can you enter? Fairy Ewing said, I naturally don't dare to go to the 3 mountains of Mount Eternal. I want to go to Mount Eternal. There's a place around it called the Graveyard of Stars. It's also very magical there. This time, I'm going there to get some spiritual herbs. The Graveyard of Stars? Lin Xian was surprised. Why haven't I heard of it? He had been to the area of Mount Eternal before, but he had never heard of such a place before. Fairy Ewing asked, Does young master have a map? Lin Xian waved his hand and took out a map of Mount Eternal and gave it to her. Fairy Ewing was delighted after seeing it. Yes, it's here. She pointed at a place. This is the Graveyard of Stars? Lin Xian was even more puzzled after seeing it. Isn't this Mount Eternal? It's considered a place in Mount Eternal, but it's not that scary. It won't take people's lives, but it's still very mysterious. According to our family's records, the Graveyard of Stars was formed by a star that fell from outer space. It just landed at the edge of Mount Eternal, so it formed such a strange terrain. After entering, one will fall into a deep sleep if there's danger. Then, one will be teleported out the next day. There's such a magical place. What treasures are there in the Graveyard of Stars? Some precious spiritual herbs. But there's a rumor. Fairy Ewing thought for a moment and said, This is an ancient rumor in our family. The Graveyard of Stars. It's said that when a great emperor died, his bones fell from outer space and formed a strange place. This is also the reason why the power of Mount Eternal can't enter the Graveyard of Stars. It's even said that the Graveyard of Stars has the will of the earth. There's even a rumor that the aura of this great emperor after his death combined with the power of Mount Eternal to form a kind of fruit. Graveyard of Stars divine fruit. It's said that it can cure all injuries in the world. It's even said that it can cure injuries of the great Tao. Lin Xian was even more shocked after hearing this. If the divine fruit can cure injuries of the great Tao, can it cure a broken Tao heart? Fairy Yu said, It should be able to. Anyway, as long as you're not dead, any injury can be cured. Of course, this is just a legend, and we don't know. We're only going to the safer places in the Graveyard of Stars this time. As for the deeper places, we don't dare to go. I'll give this map to you. Thank you. Lin Xian laughed and turned to leave. Fairy Yu was stunned. Thank me for what? She was baffled. However, she shook her head, picked up the map, and quickly left. Lin Xian was incomparably happy. Although he didn't know if this legend was true, this news was definitely a life-saving straw for the 10,000 Dragons dynasty. It seems that the Graveyard of Stars is the place where the Dragon Prince fell. Sharp killing intent burst out from his eyes. Chapter 5167. Lin Xian returned and told Yin Ruyu and the others about this matter. They were overjoyed when they heard this. Great, they would spread this news to the 10,000 Dragon dynasty. Next, we can set up the plan. Should we go there first and set up the array formation in advance? The Crimson Dragon asked. Lin Xian shook his head when he heard that. No. It was said that the Graveyard of Stars was also related to the Great Emperor. Don't set up the array formation there rashly. Moreover, the 4 of us will be enough to kill the Dragon Prince. Ruzalong, take the people of the Black Sea Dragon race and lie in ambush outside the Graveyard of Stars. If the people of the 10,000 Dragon dynasty come, you must stop them. All right, I understand. The Crimson Dragon nodded. Then, Lin Xian looked at Yi Wudao. He said, Wudao, you don't have to go to kill the Dragon Prince. Wait in the ancient city. Once we succeed, quickly inform our allies. Tell them to close the mountain gate and avoid danger. Don't worry, leave this matter to me. Yi Wudao nodded. This matter was also very important. If the Dragon Prince really died, the 10,000 Dragon dynasty would go crazy. Who knew what the other party would do? Therefore, it was better to prepare in advance. Next was to release the news. The 10,000 Dragon dynasty had been searching. However, they didn't have any news. This made the people of the 10,000 Dragon dynasty very anxious. However, on this day, a piece of news came. The Graveyard of Stars. What was this place? Some people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were puzzled. However, the eyes of the patriarchs lit up. Around Mount Eternal, ordinary people would think of it as a region of Mount Eternal. However, it had another name, the Graveyard of Stars. The patriarchs sent news that there was a meteorite divine fruit in the nebula. If it could cure all injuries, would it be proud of its Tao heart? The patriarch of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty said. The name sounded very mysterious. Even if there is a glimmer of hope, we can't miss it. Hurry up and send people over. Take the meteorite divine fruit. However, that person said that according to the information we found, the divine fruit can't leave the Graveyard of Stars. Otherwise, it will immediately turn to ashes. Therefore, if we want to obtain this thing, the Dragon Prince has to go personally. As soon as he said this, the Dragon Clan's ancestor frowned. An elder said, "It couldn't be a trap, right? They would lure the Dragon Prince out and then attack him." The others were also discussing spiritedly. The patriarch of the dragon race snorted coldly. So what if it was a trap? This time, we've mobilized a powerful force and an extreme weapon. Even if there are traps, what can they do to us? At that time, he could even kill the enemy. That's right, the others also nodded. Their dragon clan feared nothing. Hurry up and get ready. The old ancestor of the dragon race gave the order. The entire 10,000 Dragon Dynasty quickly moved. They brought enough resources and a large number of powerhouses. Even the Dragon Clan's great ancestor had to go there personally. In addition to him, 2 other progenitors were heading there too. The 3 old ancestors, the extreme grade weapon, and the other saints. They didn't believe that there was any power that could defeat them. Even if Lin Xian had set up a trap, they were still not afraid. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, wasn't he just a heaven-swallowing jar? They could definitely contend against the other party. As long as the Dragon Prince's Tao heart was restored, they would have hope. Mount Eternal, the Graveyard of Stars. It was very quiet here. On this day, a few figures flew over quickly and landed. They were the people of the Moon Shadow clan. They had arrived outside the Graveyard of Stars. Their expressions became incomparably solemn. Although this place was magical and wouldn't fall under normal circumstances, they still had to be careful. Yu Xinzi reminded them. The others nodded. Their figures seemed to have turned into shadows and floated in. This time, they only searched for some spiritual herbs at the outermost area of the Graveyard of Stars. As for the inside, they didn't dare to enter at all. Princess, that's great. We've already collected half of the spiritual herbs we need. I estimate that we'll be able to collect all of them in another 2 days. An expert of the Moon Shadow clan said. Yu Xinzi also smiled after hearing that. Although this time, they had finally completed the clan's mission. Everyone, rest. The group of people sat down and began to rest. However, at this moment, the void in the distance shattered, and an incomparably vast amount of information rushed over. What was going on? In the Graveyard of Stars, the people of the Moon Shadow clan suddenly raised their heads to look at the sky. Their expressions became frightened. Not to mention them, the nearby families and sects also raised their heads in fear. In the next moment, they saw a huge dragon flying over in the sky. It was too long, tens of thousands of miles long. It swept across the world. The void kept shattering. All the demonic beasts below prostrated on the ground. Even the saints were facing a great enemy. At this moment, they couldn't help but want to kneel down. How terrifying. It was the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court. In this area, the people of the Fire God Palace and the Hall of Longevity were also facing a great enemy. One by one, the Grand Elders looked into the distance. It's not an ordinary dragon. I can feel the power of a peak great sage. This is the peerless powerhouse of the 10,000 Dragon Court. What are they going to do? These sects were facing a great enemy. After all, the Dragon Prince was injured. Who knew what the nest of 10,000 dragons was going to do? The last time the Dragon Prince was injured, the spirit realm was directly destroyed. This time, was the 10,000 Dragon Court going to make a move again? Could it be that they were going for Mount Eternal? A Grand Elder of the Hall of Longevity frowned. The expressions of the others also changed. Mount Eternal, the forbidden land of death. Even a top great sage wouldn't dare to enter rashly. However, the 10,000 Dragon Court was an emperor clan and had an extreme weapon. This time, for the sake of the Dragon Prince, they might really have to risk their lives to enter Mount Eternal. Should we go and take a look? Someone suggested. However, those elders said that no one was allowed to go, and that they would seal the mountain gate. If an extreme weapon attacked with full strength, countless people would be turned into ashes. They didn't dare to. The Hall Master of the Hall of Longevity felt that it was inappropriate to seal the mountain gate, so he sent a group of elders and talented disciples away. After the 10,000 Dragon Court left, it wouldn't be too late to let them come back. It wasn't just the Hall of Longevity. The other families and sects were the same. For a moment, this area was terrifyingly quiet. In the Graveyard of Stars, Yu Ying and the others were so scared that they knelt on the ground. There was a godlike will on it that made them unable to resist. What kind of existence was this? In the next moment, they saw countless figures standing on the giant dragon. The giant dragon arrived above the nebula. It was the people of the dragon race. The people of the Moon Shadow clan felt their scalps go numb. They knew that it was most likely the 10,000 Dragon Court. That's right, it was the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court. At the front were 3 peak great sages, and there were many other great sages around them. In the middle, there was a throne. Sitting on the throne was a young man. His face was pale and filled with pain. It was the Dragon Prince. They waved their arms, and the 10,000 dragon picture appeared in the sky. An extremely terrifying extreme Dao aura swept in all directions. Facing Lin Xian and the others, the 10,000 Dragon Court seemed to want to kill them in one strike. Therefore, they used an extreme Dao weapon right from the start. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He also appeared on his side. The sky-devouring jar floated between heaven and earth. An endless black hole devoured the extreme Dao power. The weapons confronted each other. However, the sky-devouring jar seemed to be gradually suppressed. It was useless. Half an extreme Dao weapon seemed to be no different in the hands of a young man. But in a true peerless battle, you would be completely suppressed. Today is the day you die. The 3 patriarchs of the 10,000 Dragon Court attacked together. The 10,000 Dragon picture released the extreme Dao power, and countless dragon shadows pressed down. The sky-devouring jar was gradually suppressed. Ha ha ha, what do you have to fight us? The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court laughed smugly. After killing you, the sky-devouring jar will be ours. The Dragon Prince's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Not only do I want the sky-devouring jar, but I also want his life. I want all of his secret techniques. Buzz. He let out a terrifying dragon roar. A dragon roar also came from Lin Xian's body. Then, sword energy surged into the sky and blocked the thousands of dragon shadows. A dragon-shaped sword energy appeared in front of him, releasing a terrifying aura. This caused the expressions of the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court to change because the aura of this dragon shadow was too terrifying. The great dragon sword. Their eyes shone with a terrifying light. Humph. This belongs to the 10,000 Dragon Court. It belongs to the Dragon Prince. You don't deserve to have it. How dare you say such words? Lin Xian was cold. Behind him, the powerhouses of the Black Sea's dragon race provided power. The great dragon sword soul erupted and slashed through heaven and earth. The 10,000 dragon picture stopped descending. It was blocked. Damn it. The great dragon sword and half of the sky-devouring crown. Is this your final trump card? But it can't do anything to us. At most, it will be a draw. Besides, do you have enough strength to fully recover? Chapter 5169. The 10,000 Dragon Court wasn't afraid. Even if they couldn't kill the other party, they could still retreat. However, Lin Xian smiled. A draw? You are too naive. Do you think I planned all this just to draw with you? We are here to kill the Dragon Prince, so he will definitely die. Just you? The Dragon Prince trembled in anger. You don't have the right. The 10,000 Dragon Court's old ancestor scoffed coldly. Kid, stop trying to be mysterious. Show me all your trump cards. I want to see how you are going to kill the Dragon Prince today. Lin Xian waved his hand and said loudly, "Everyone, come out. Let them see our lineup today." Beside Lin Xian, 3 streaks of space shattered. A monkey holding an iron rod walked over. 7 colored lights surrounded Murong Qingqing. She looked like a fairy descending from the heavens. Her white robe was as white as snow, and her expression was cold as she walked out. They were split up into 3 groups. 3 young people? The 10,000 Dragon Court frowned. An elder said that the monkey was an imperial prince, so the other 2 should be imperial princes too. The 10,000 Dragon Court's old ancestor laughed coldly. "You're really stupid. Don't tell me you think that the 3 of them can do anything in this kind of battle? Qingqing, Ruyu, they are underestimating you. Show them some strength." Lin Xian smiled. Yin Ruyu scoffed coldly. 10,000 Dragon Court, you shouldn't have destroyed Spirit Realm. You have committed a crime that deserves death. You want to stand up for Spirit Realm? Who are you? A survivor of Spirit Realm? What a joke. The 10,000 Dragon Court's old ancestor scoffed coldly. Yin Ruyu's expression turned cold. "I am not from Spirit Realm, but our ancestors received help from Spirit Realm. So this time, I am here to take revenge for Spirit Realm." She formed a hand seal, and a green lotus appeared behind her. It swayed gently and shattered the sky. A terrifying extreme Dao aura spread out. The 10,000 Dragon Court's people were disdainful at first, but when they felt this aura, their expressions changed. They felt a chill down their spines. An elder exclaimed, "Extreme Dao aura." The 3 ancestral patriarchs narrowed their eyes. "You're the descendant of Emperor Qing?" With the green lotus behind him and his connection to Spirit Realm, they immediately thought of a great emperor. Emperor Qing. Back then, Spirit Realm had indeed helped them. When they had attacked Spirit Realm, the descendants of Emperor Qing had appeared and saved a group of people. Who would have thought that it would be the woman before him? Their expressions became ugly. If it was just Lin Xian, they wouldn't be worried. The sword in Lin Xian's hand was only the great dragon sword soul. The heaven-devouring jar was also half a 10,000 dragons diagram, and the 2 added together were equivalent to 1. Therefore, they could easily leave. But things were different now. They actually had another extreme weapon. This way, they would be suppressed. Murong Qingqing also sighed. "Go to hell and repent for your sins." With a wave of her hand, an ancient pagoda appeared and spun between heaven and earth. Similarly, the might of the extreme Dao appeared. This time, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people all went crazy. Another extreme weapon? Damn it, who is this woman? One of the ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty gritted his teeth. The desolate tower. Damn it, what does this have to do with the Jade Pool? They all went crazy. To be honest, they never thought that Lin Xian could summon 3 extreme weapons. Even the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty couldn't do it. "Let's go." The 3 ancestors roared and rushed into the sky with the Dragon Prince and the others. There was no way to fight now. They were absolutely at a disadvantage. "Want to leave?" Lin Xian snorted. "Give me power." The ancestors of the Black Sea Dragon race behind him quickly poured their power into the heaven-devouring jar. Then, the heaven-devouring jar erupted with power, forming an endless vortex that swallowed the world. "Get lost." The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared, and the 10,000 Dragons diagram tore apart countless black holes. However, at this moment, a dragon roar sounded, and sword energy slashed over, colliding with the 10,000 Dragons diagram. The 2 collided, shaking heaven and earth. Damn it! The 10,000 Dragons diagram was blocked. They fled in another direction. However, they were destined to not be able to escape. This time, they had brought the power to kill. Yin Ruyu formed a seal with his palms, and he used several world cores without holding back. The green lotus swayed and turned into thousands of illusory green lotuses that covered the sky and earth, cutting off the mountains and rivers. The desolate tower suppressed the world. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were completely surrounded. What should they do? Those elders were on the verge of tears. Facing such a situation, there seemed to be no other way. The Dragon Prince's face was pale. Damn it, in order to kill him, the other party didn't set up such an inescapable trap? 3 extreme weapons. This was unimaginable. Lin Wudi, the descendant of the Qing Emperor. Jade Pool. When I recover, I will definitely not let you off. How dare you threaten me? Yin Ruyu snorted coldly. Do you think you can still escape? The Dragon Prince's pupils constricted. He roared angrily. Revive the 10,000 dragons diagram with all your strength. Don't worry, they definitely won't be able to hurt you today. The 3 ancestors roared, and an extremely terrifying light erupted from their eyes. Go all out. Revive the 10,000 dragons diagram. The 10,000 dragons diagram bloomed with light and swept across heaven and earth. At this moment, 10,000 dragons roared. Heaven and earth shattered, and the entire power of the fallen stars shook violently. Mount Eternal also erupted with a terrifying, indestructible aura. All the powerhouses and families in the area sensed it. They looked at the sky in the distance with incomparable fear. It erupted. The 10,000 dragons diagram was fully revived. It seemed that they were going to attack Mount Eternal. The 10,000 dragon dynasty was really crazy. These families were terrified. When the spirit realm was destroyed, they only felt it from a distant area. They didn't expect that it was going to launch an extreme attack near them. Humph, do you think you're the only one who knows how to fully revive? Yin Ruyu snorted coldly. She poured all the world cores she had obtained into the green lotus and fully revived it. With an angry roar, the green lotus bloomed with light and seemed to transform into a human figure wearing a green robe, looking down on the world. It was the Lotus Emperor's illusion. The green lotus swayed like a divine artifact of the celestial world, sweeping across heaven and earth. Countless dragon figures were swept away, and a terrifying and vast aura erupted. Outside, the powerhouses of the families and sects felt this scene, and their pupils constricted. What was going on? A second extreme aura. Heavens, there was an extreme weapon. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty actually brought 2 extreme weapons. Impossible. They were all crazy. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. They had started fighting. Was the final battle about to begin? In the Graveyard of Stars. It shook violently, and countless stars were destroyed. Fortunately, this place also belonged to Mount Eternal, and it had a terrifying and mysterious aura. Otherwise, this attack would have turned heaven and earth upside down. But even so, the area outside of Mount Eternal had collapsed and turned into dust. It didn't exist in vain. Some small families and sects were instantly reduced to ashes. Those top ancient families and peerless sects had long sealed their mountains and activated peerless arrays. But even so, it still shook their blood and made them spit out large mouthfuls of blood. This was just the aftershock. Just how terrifying was the destructive strike at the center of it all. No wonder Spirit Realm was reduced to ashes by this attack. Chapter 5170. Actually, it wasn't just them. The entire Alcade continent sensed it. The Purple Mansion, the Yi family, the Gu family, and the other families all looked up at the sky. This was the aura of the 10,000 dragons diagram, and it had fully recovered. Had the 10,000 Dragons dynasty gone crazy? Where were they going to attack? In the ancient city of Holy Origin, the 3 great orthodoxies also received the news. The patriarchs also came out of seclusion and looked into the distance. They wondered which place was going to suffer. However, at this moment, their expressions changed. No, the second extreme Dao aura had fully recovered and was resisting the 10,000 Dragons diagram. In the next moment, they saw an aurora coming from afar, sweeping across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The entire Alcade continent was illuminated at this moment, as if thousands of suns had appeared in the world together. All the powerhouses of the families raised their heads at this moment. It was a confrontation between extreme Dao weapons. Someone was fighting against the 10,000 Dragons diagram. Who was it? Everyone went crazy at this moment. Not only the distant Light continent, but the ancient Jade continent and the other continents also sensed it. For example, the Fire Chelan race, the Phoenix race, and the Heavenly Rock race. Those people were all shocked. The power of an extreme Tao weapon. No, there was a second extreme Tao weapon. Which family was this? They had never sensed it before, especially those from the Emperor race. They were dumbfounded. The powerhouses of the Kuan Peng race looked into the distance worriedly. They then looked at the seclusion ground behind them, hoping that nothing would affect Kuan Peng Z. In the graveyard of stars, heaven and earth shattered, turning into an endless black hole. It was blocked. Damn it. The people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty were terrified and in disbelief. Did the other party also have the ability to fully recover? Damn it. They should have thought of the other party long ago. Since the other party dared to kill them, they must have made ample preparations. After that attack, Yin Ruyu's face was pale, and countless cracks appeared on her body. At this point, she was still unable to fully recover. There were two old men beside her. They looked worried and quickly supported her. They were the protectors of the Azure Thearchus bloodline. The two of them had also helped just now. Otherwise, Yin Ruyu's body would have long been shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Even so, the two protectors were worried about the Shao clan. I'm fine, but it's really difficult to kill the Thearchus son, Yin Ryu assessed. The Dragon Prince's face turned pale, and the three ancestors shouted angrily. They didn't believe it. They fled frantically. Yin Ryu gritted her teeth and looked to the side. It's up to you. Murong Qingqing nodded, and two illusions appeared behind him. Last time, he poisoned the Dragon Prince, which was enough to show that he wanted to kill the Dragon Prince, but he did not succeed. This time, the Dragon Prince's Tao heart was shattered, and he was ready to make a move. However, he did not expect that someone would be faster than him. Who was it? Was it Lin Wudi? He thought of someone. It seemed that he had to think of a way to kill the other party, because this was someone even more terrifying than the Dragon Prince. He would not allow anyone on the Emperor Road to surpass him. The two extreme-grade weapons were awakened, and the world was destroyed again. At this moment, Lin Xian's eyes burst out with an extremely terrifying light. Everyone, help me recover fully. Heaven-devouring jar. Lin Xian said coldly. The people of the Black Sea Dragon race nodded. They had destroyed countless realm cores and used the power of several worlds to provide all of it to the heaven-devouring jar. In the starry sky of the universe, 7 stars had turned into ashes. The heaven-devouring jar burst out with light, and an extremely terrifying sharp sound soared into the sky. The world turned dark again. The heaven-devouring jar erupted and attacked the 10,000 Dragons portrait. Not good. The 10,000 Dragons dynasty's patriarch's expression changed drastically. The remaining elders were even more terrified. The two sides were evenly matched, but with half of the heaven-devouring jar, the situation changed. With a clang, the 10,000 Dragons portrait was knocked back. More than a dozen elders of the dragon race were instantly swallowed and turned into a bloody mist. The Dragon Prince's blood boiled, and he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Damn it, run. The people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty did not dare to resist at all. However, the ancient desolate tower and the sky-reaching crown had fully recovered, and they could not escape at all. At this critical moment, the three patriarchs' eyes were filled with despair. Prince, it's up to you now. Run. Run back to your family. The family's experts will receive you. The Dragon Prince gritted his teeth. I'll avenge you. In the next moment, he soared into the sky, merged with the 10,000 Dragons portrait, and flew into the distance. The three patriarch souls were immediately destroyed by the two emperor weapons. A bloody mist filled the world. The peak supreme saints had fallen. The entire Mount Eternal was covered in a bloody rain. Countless people were terrified. The peak supreme saints stood at the top of the saint realm. As long as the great emperors did not appear, they were the absolute powerhouses. But now, they had fallen, and 3 of them had fallen at once. Chapter 5171. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty went crazy. The 3 ancestral patriarchs' soul jade tablets shattered, causing them to kneel on the ground. They knew that the Dragon Prince was really in danger. His life was in danger. That attack just now was the aura of the sky-devouring crown. It was Lin Wudi. Damn it! They roared crazily. They weren't the only ones who felt the power of the sky-devouring crown. It was really Lin Xian who did it. Many people's scalps went numb. They knew that Lin Xian and the Dragon Prince had a grudge, but they didn't expect Lin Xian to be so daring. He really dared to kill the Dragon Prince. Moreover, he could summon 3 Emperor weapons. How did he do it? The people of the Gu family, Yi family, and the other 3 orthodoxies were shocked. In the distance, the Qilin and Phoenix clan were also shocked. Lin Wudi's name would probably sweep through the 9 heavens in the future. Even the Emperor clans would be terrified. However, could he really kill the Dragon Prince? At this moment, the Dragon Prince merged with the 10,000 Dragons portrait and flew into the 9 heavens. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to escape? He activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul with all his might and slashed through heaven and earth to stop the Dragon Prince. With a clang, the Dragon Prince was forced back. He roared angrily and tried to escape again. Lin Xian roared and charged forward. His entire being was like a god of swords as he moved boldly. At this moment, he had fully recovered the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul. After using a few world cores, the Great Dragon Sword Soul exploded with power. The Dragon Prince spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his body dimmed. Damn it! The Dragon Prince roared. I won't let you off. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to kill me? Are you a match for me? Today is the day you die. You want to kill me? Impossible. He didn't want to fight Lin Xian head-on. Instead, he wanted to escape. As long as he escaped back to his clan, he would be safe. At this moment, a large iron rod hit him, causing him to vomit blood. Damn monkey! He charged toward Sun Qitian. Lin Xian's expression changed, and the others exclaimed. Although Sun Qitian was an Emperor Prince, he didn't seem to have an Emperor weapon. The Dragon Prince gritted his teeth. I'll kill you first. The bloodline in his body exploded, and the storage rings in his hand shattered. The realm core was destroyed. The 10,000 Dragons diagram released an extreme might. Sun Qitian shouted coldly, You want to kill old Sun? The rust on the iron staff in his hand fell off, and terrifying runes condensed. He struck out with a blow. With a clang, it actually blocked the 10,000 Dragons diagram. Everyone was stunned. Lin Xian was also surprised. Could it be that this iron staff was also an extreme weapon? The monkey was forced to retreat. His palm was cracked, but he managed to block the Dragon Prince. Humph, you're not that good either. You're still far from being able to kill old Sun. You're going to die today? Lin Xian grasped the Great Dragon Sword Soul and rushed forward. Murong Qingqing and Yin Ruyu also walked over. The 4 of them surrounded the Dragon Prince completely. Everyone, help me resist the myriad dragon diagram, and I'll kill him. Let me do it, Yin Ruyu said. She knew that the one who killed the Dragon Prince would be hunted down fiercely. This matter was originally Yin Ruyu's revenge. Lin Xian said with a smile, No, I'll do it. Not only do I have a grudge with him, but I also have a battle between great emperors. I will personally kill him. All right, I owe you a favor. Yin Ruyu and the others took a deep breath. Let's do it. They attacked the 10,000 Dragons diagram with all their might. As long as the Dragon Prince and the 10,000 Dragons diagram left, Lin Xian would have a chance to kill the other party. The Dragon Prince was beaten until he spat out blood. Burn. At this moment, his great emperor bloodline was burning. He was going to fight back regardless of everything. His body quickly caved in. The 10,000 Dragons diagram was covered in blood, and there was even a furious roar. In the distance, the endless void was torn apart. The reinforcements of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty had arrived. Hurry! The Dragon Prince is burning his bloodline. We must hurry. They rushed over. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon and the others soared into the sky and blocked the way. Where do you think you're going? Get lost. The 10,000 Dragons dynasty roared angrily. The 2 sides engaged in an earth-shattering battle. You want reinforcements to come? Don't even think about it. We have an ambush outside. Lin Xian smiled. Then, the 4 of them attacked again. The 10,000 Dragons diagram was beaten until it swayed. Finally, it left the dragon prince's body. It was suppressed by two great emperor weapons. At this moment, Lin Xian slashed at the dragon prince and cut him in half. The dragon prince screamed, "You can't kill me." This time, he was really terrified. His body couldn't heal. He roared angrily, "If you kill me, the 10,000 Dragons dynasty will hunt you down. Do you want to die with me? Not only you, but everyone who participated in killing me, including those who are related to you, will be hunted down. You have to think carefully. Are you threatening me? Humph. You must die in the battle between great emperors. If the 10,000 Dragons dynasty dares to take revenge, I will kill all of them." Lin Xian's eyes also erupted with cold-killing intent. The great dragon sword soul attacked again, causing the dragon prince to scream in pain. At this moment, a piercingly cold light suddenly erupted from the dragon prince's glabella. An angry roar sounded in his bloodline. "How dare you kill him?" In the next moment, a hazy male phantom appeared and charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body shattered, and his glabella split open. He was severely injured. At the same time, the 10,000 Dragons diagram also erupted, and a terrifying roar came from within. "Oh no! Is the artifact spirit going to revive? Could that phantom be the Dragon Emperor's phantom? Has the Dragon Prince's bloodline become so terrifying?" Yin Ruyu exclaimed. Murong Qingqing's expression changed drastically. The monkey roared and waved his iron staff nonstop. The 10,000 Dragons diagram roared. He said, "Hurry, let's suppress the 10,000 Dragons diagram and not let it fuse with the Dragon Emperor's phantom." The three of them kept the 10,000 Dragons diagram in check. Each of them was so shaken that they vomited blood. In the distance, the Patriarch and Patriarch of the Black Sea's dragon race had solemn expressions when they saw this scene. They didn't expect the artifact spirit of the 10,000 Dragons diagram to come out when the Dragon Emperor's phantom appeared. It was too terrifying. "We can't help here. Let's go and meet up with our people to stop the reinforcements. We can't let them have the resources." They could tell that the Dragon Prince was lacking energy. If the reinforcements arrived, then the situation would really turn around. Therefore, even if they died, they couldn't let the people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty come. These patriarchs and powerhouses soared into the sky and flew into the distance. They would leave this place to Lin Xian. Lin Xian vomited large mouthfuls of blood, and his glabella split open. He summoned the heaven-devouring jar to block it. With a clang, the heaven-devouring jar activated. He vomited blood and flew backward. At this moment, the Dragon Prince's body was like a skeleton, but he grinned. His voice was hoarse. "You can't kill me. My father once left me a life-saving talisman. This time, you will definitely die." Although he was so weak that he was about to die, he smiled happily. Lin Xian's expression also turned ugly. The Dragon Emperor's phantom? This was something he didn't expect. This power was too shocking and strange. Could it be that the Dragon Emperor wanted to kill him through endless time? Not good. Murong Qingqing and the others also became nervous. They were being targeted by the phantom of a great emperor. Brother Xian, quickly recover the great dragon sword soul. Chapter 5172. Lin Xian felt that he couldn't move at all. What he was facing now was not an extreme weapon. It was a great emperor. It was too terrifying. This great emperor's shadow could destroy him with a single glance. Die. The Dragon Emperor's shadow roared into the sky, and Lin Xian's body shattered again. However, at this moment, the demon's summoning scripture in his body circulated. A demonic shadow appeared behind him and froze the world. This demonic shadow emitted a terrifying aura and directly blocked the Dragon Emperor. This sudden change stunned Murong Qingqing and the others. Then, they heaved a sigh of relief. The Dragon Emperor gritted his teeth and roared. "You're the Demon Emperor. You want to protect this kid?" The Demon Emperor didn't say anything. The Dragon Emperor's shadow roared crazily. "Why? Could it be that you want to?" Before he could finish speaking, the Demon Emperor suddenly attacked the Dragon Emperor again. The two shadows exploded at the same time. In the next moment, a destructive power rushed over. Everyone was sent flying by the blast. Lin Xian was protected by the heaven-devouring jar, but he still vomited blood. When everything calmed down, the demonic shadow and the Dragon Emperor's shadow both disappeared. What was that? Was it also the shadow of a great emperor? Even the monkey was surprised. Murong Qingcheng, on the other hand, frowned. What did he mean by that? What was the purpose of this demonic shadow? She couldn't understand. Lin Xian didn't think too much about it. At this moment, he stood up. Although he was severely injured, he had the divine spring of life in his sword world. Using the power of the divine spring of life, the cracks on Lin Xian's body quickly healed. He held the great dragon sword soul and walked forward again. What else do you have? The dragon prince was in despair. At this moment, he was only skin and bones and had no strength to resist. His Tao heart was completely shattered. Even the method left behind by his father was broken by the other party. The 10,000 Dragons portrait was suppressed by other extreme weapons. What else could he do? However, his eyes erupted with a cold light. You're abandoned by immortals. I curse you. Eternal damnation. A crazy voice sounded, and his face became ferocious. A monstrous blood light condensed on his body, forming a curse rune that charged towards Lin Xian. It was over. Lin Xian roared in anger. Gripping the great dragon sword spirit with both hands, he slashed down with all his might. Destroy everything. The dragon prince was split in half, his body and soul destroyed. Boom. Above the 9 heavens, a large crack appeared. A rain of blood poured down, sweeping through heaven and earth. This moment was even more terrifying than the fall of a peak great sage. Everyone raised their heads to look at the sky. They felt a sense of sorrow. Those demonic beasts were all crawling on the ground. Could it be that the dragon prince had fallen? Everyone was alarmed. This was a world-shaking event. Did that Lin Xian really succeed? Everyone from the 10,000 Dragons court was crying tears of blood right now. No, Prince. Lin Wudi, my 10,000 Dragons imperial court will fight you to the death. Even if you run to the ends of the earth, you will still die. Kill. Whether it was Lin Wudi or anyone related to him, they would all go to hell. At this moment, the 1,000 Dragons imperial court had gone completely mad. In Holy Abyss ancient city, countless people were shocked. Leaf Daudinier looked up into the sky and sighed. Had he perished? In the next moment, a terrifying light burst out from his eyes. Then, he looked behind him. There were many figures standing there. They were the Nailing clan leader, the Dugu clan leader, and Fire Dragon Lady, and the other members of the alliance. He said, "The Dragon Prince has fallen. Brother Lin told me to tell you to retreat and hide." The Nailing clan leader, the Dugu clan leader, and the other allies were shocked. The Dragon Prince was really dead. They didn't dare to imagine it. However, they knew that there was something even more terrifying, and that was the revenge of the 10,000 Dragons court. They would hide now. They hurriedly took action. They would probably go into seclusion for hundreds or thousands of years before completely disappearing. However, they didn't know what would happen to Lin Xian. Was he dead? The people of the Dragon Sea clan were terrified. The Blue clan and the others were in despair. The people of the 3 orthodoxies were also in an uproar. In the Path sect, several ancestral patriarchs sighed. They had originally supported the Dragon Prince. However, they didn't expect that the Dragon Prince would be killed by Lin Xian. He had really fallen. The Phoenix clan couldn't believe it. The Qilin clan was also shocked. The Qilin's son laughed loudly. This Lin Wudi was really something. He actually managed to kill the Dragon Prince. However, he believed that he wouldn't have to do anything, except the crazy pursuit of the nest of 10,000 dragons. Ha 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 ha. At this moment, countless people on the buried Emperor's star were shocked. The Dragon Prince's death made everyone remember the name Lin Wudi. In the graveyard of stars, Murong Qingsheng and the others were shocked. They had really killed the arch. Humph. He deserved it? Yin Ruyu snorted coldly. They had finally avenged the spirit realm. Murong Qingsheng was extremely worried about Lin Xian's future. Lin Xian waved his hand and enveloped the Dragon Prince's corpse, sealing it. He definitely wouldn't leave the corpse of the arch to the other party. The 10,000 dragons diagram shone brightly and wanted to snatch it. However, it was forced back by Lin Xian and the other's extreme weapons. He roared and turned to leave. "Where do you think you're going?" Sun Qitian raised his iron staff, but he still couldn't stop the other party. "Forget it. Monkey bro, let him go. We can't control this extreme weapon." Although they could suppress the other party in battle, it was very difficult to control the other party's extreme weapon, unless you obtained the other party's approval. But how is that possible? The 10,000 Dragons diagram only belonged to the 10,000 Dragons dynasty. Now that they had killed the Dragon Prince, it was impossible for them to obtain the 10,000 Dragons diagram's approval. "Everyone, don't contact me anymore. Hide and avoid the 10,000 Dragons dynasty's anger." "What about you?" Murong Qingcheng was nervous. Yen Ruyu said, "We will bear it together." Lin Xian shook his head. "Don't worry, I have a way to protect myself. As long as you are fine, the 10,000 Dragons dynasty won't be able to hurt me." "Oh right, wait here." After Lin Xian entered, he gave the Dragon Prince's flesh and blood to Murong Qingcheng and the others. "Don't waste the Thearcha's blood." "All right, let's part here." Lin Xian charged into the sky. "Big brother Xian," Murong Qingcheng cried. Yen Ruyu took a deep breath. "Don't worry, he will be fine. If he is in danger, I will stop at nothing." Sun Qitian is right. I have a part to play in this too. If the 10,000 Dragons dynasty really doesn't care about anything, I will destroy them. "I understand. Thank you. Let's go." Murong Qingcheng took a deep breath. Then, they flew in all directions. The Crimson Dragon and the others also left. When they left, the Crimson Dragon met up with Lin Xian. Lin Xian gave him a portion of the Dragon Prince's flesh and the heaven-swallowing crown jar. "This is the Dragon Prince's essence blood. You need it. The heaven-swallowing crown jar will be in your care for now. If the 10,000 Dragons dynasty attacks you with an extreme weapon, you can defend against it." The Crimson Dragon's eyes teared up. They were brothers for life. He and Lin Xian had experienced too many things together. There was no need for words. The people of the Black Ocean Dragon race were shocked. Lin Xian actually lent them the imperial weapon. They couldn't repay such kindness. Moreover, Lin Xian had helped them kill their enemies. They were extremely grateful. The Black Ocean Dragon Lord looked at Lin Xian and bowed deeply. "From now on, the Black Ocean Dragon race will respect you and listen to your orders." Chapter 5173. The Dragon Prince's death shocked the entire buried Emperor Star. He was probably the first emperor to die. The impact was just too terrifying. The 10,000 Dragon dynasty was furious and immediately sent out a kill order. They wanted to kill Lin Xian, the monkey, the Jade Lake successor, and the Azure Emperor's descendant. They knew that the 10,000 Dragon dynasty experts who attacked Lin Xian and the others had all died. However, this news was spread by the 10,000 Dragon picture. The 10,000 Dragon picture left and sent the news to the 10,000 Dragon dynasty. The 10,000 Dragon dynasty immediately sent out a kill order. When the people of the buried Emperor Star heard this, they were all shocked. It was actually 4 young people who did it. They knew about Lin Xian and the monkey. One was the invincible Great Sage and the other was the Great Sage, Heaven's equal. But they didn't know about the other 2. The Jade Lake successor and the Azure Emperor's descendant? Heavens, these 2 people were also extraordinary. However, they did not know who these 2 people were. After the Phoenix race received the news, they frowned. Wasn't the Jade Lake successor Murong Qingcheng? As expected, she also attacked. "Quick, bring Qingcheng back," the old Phoenix ordered. The 10,000 Dragon dynasty experts went crazy, but they couldn't find these people at all. These people had left long ago. The 10,000 Dragon dynasty was furious. They first went to the Taoist sect. Countless Dragon race experts covered the sky and headed to the Taoist sect. The Taoist sect was facing a huge enemy. Although they were in ancient orthodoxy, they were still in a precarious situation. The Taoist sect's old ancestor instantly came out. What was the meaning of this? The 10,000 Dragon dynasty's old ancestor scoffed coldly. "Hand over Lin Xian, or I will destroy your Taoist sect." Terrifying killing intent swept through the 9 heavens. The people of Saint Distant Ancient City were shocked, and the disciples of the Taoist sect were terrified. This was because they realized that the other party had brought an extreme weapon. The might of the extreme weapon caused the space above the Taoist sect to shatter. The expressions of the people of the Taoist sect were also extremely ugly. The old ancestor scoffed coldly. "You guys are too much. Do you really think that the Taoist sect is so easy to mess with? Our Taoist sect has a long history and many experts came from our Taoist sect. Try it." Although there were no extreme weapons in the Tao, they were still not afraid. Because what they said was right. There were too many top-notch experts that came from them, and they were scattered across the myriad worlds. If the Tao sect was destroyed, these experts would definitely go crazy. Even if they didn't dare to attack the 10,000 Dragon Court head-on, the people of the dragon race would suffer in the future. It was hard to say when it would be destroyed. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty naturally knew this, so they only took out extreme weapons to threaten him. However, if they really couldn't find Lin Xian, they would go crazy. Fantasy World Ancestor also sighed. Lin Xian did not return at all. He didn't come back? Humph, we don't believe you. Let us investigate. The experts of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty weren't convinced. Fantasy World Old Ancestor said, "Everyone, you don't even believe me? My Tao sect has no reason to lie to you. Besides, do you think Lin Xian will come back? Since he hasn't returned, we have to take the people from the Divine Union away. Let's see if he comes back." The Thousand Dragon Court's patriarch waved his hands and was about to envelop the Divine Union. The people of the Divine Union were stunned. Was he going to attack them? The Savage Desolation patriarch slashed his blade across the sky, cutting off their path. "You are looking for Lin Xian. What does that have to do with the Divine Union? Every grievance has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. If you attack Lin Xian, that is your grudge. The people of the Divine Union have not participated in this matter. They are disciples of the Tao sect. Try attacking the Divine Union. Today, I will attack you." The 10,000 Dragon Court roared angrily as the 10,000 Dragon portrait above his head unleashed a terrifying destructive aura. The entire ancient city started to shake violently at this moment. They were all in despair. Would the Holy Abyss City still exist after this attack? The Savage Desolation patriarch roared and more figures appeared on the ground. At the same time, a few sacred weapons floated in the sky. The 10,000 Dragon Court was too much. They attacked the innocent disciples of the Divine Union. They would rather die than submit in today's battle. Prepare for battle. Following this order, countless light arrays lit up in the entire Tao sect. Figure after figure shot up into the sky, their eyes shining fiercely. They would live and die with the Tao sect. At the same time, news after news flew to the 9 heavens and 10 earths. This was to inform all the sects and families that were related to the Tao sect. In an instant, everyone was alarmed. The people from the other 2 great orthodoxies also received the news and sent out their powerhouses. Stop! The people from the Sky sect came, and so did the people from the Earth sect. The 3 great orthodoxies were united. Although there were conflicts between them, if one of them was in danger of being annihilated, the other 2 would definitely step in. Were the 2 of them going to stop this? The 10,000 Dragon Court was so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. The Sky Sect elders said coldly, "Killing the Dragon Prince was Lin Xian's business. It had nothing to do with the Divine Union or the Tao sect. If you attack these people, don't blame the 3 great orthodoxies for being unwilling." That's right. The Earth sect's powerhouses also stepped forward. "It is only right that you seek revenge on Lin Xian. We don't care. However, the others can't move. Who knows if Lin Xian is hiding in the Tao sect? Unless you let us investigate. Otherwise, we won't let this matter rest. Even if we have to turn the world upside down, we won't hesitate." The Thousand Dragon Court had gone crazy. Their Dragon Prince was dead. There was no hope left. So what if they turned the world upside down and everything ceased to exist? The Supreme Elders of the Sky Sect and Earth Sect came over. They discussed with the Savage Wilderness Ancestor and the others to let them investigate. Otherwise, this bunch of lunatics would definitely attack. As long as Lin Xian wasn't here, they would be safe. The two patriarchs sighed. They knew that this was the last line they could take. Fine, we'll let you investigate. The two ancestors of the dragon tribe walked out. Their souls shrouded the entire Tao sect and began to investigate. After half an hour, they withdrew their souls. Their faces were terrifyingly gloomy. The savage wilderness ancestor snorted. Was he here? The ancestors of the dragon tribe shouted coldly. Let's go to the dragon tribe of the Black Sea. If Lin Xian wasn't in the Tao sect, then he could only be in the dragon tribe of the Black Sea. The people of the Tao sect heaved a sigh of relief. However, the ancestors had grave expressions on their faces. It seemed like the Thousand Dragon Court wouldn't let this matter rest until they killed Lin Xian and the others. Everyone on the buried Emperor's star was paying attention to this matter. The Black Sea, the winds and clouds changed. Countless demonic beasts in the sea prostrated themselves in fear. They felt the aura of an extreme Tao descending from the sky. Facing the three great orthodoxies, the dragon tribe seemed to be afraid. However, facing the dragon tribe of the Black Sea, they weren't afraid at all. They were only filled with boundless anger. Therefore, they directly used an extreme Tao weapon. The entire Black Sea was completely penetrated. Countless demonic beasts were killed. At this moment, everyone was shocked. The Thousand Dragon Court was attacking the Black Sea. Heavens, the dragon tribe of the Black Sea wouldn't be destroyed, right? It was very likely that no matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to block the attack of an extreme Tao weapon. At this moment, countless people sighed. The faces of the Divine Union changed drastically. Not good. The Black Sea was their ally and the home of the Crimson Dragon. Could it be that everything was going to be destroyed? The members of the Black Sea Dragon tribe were injured. Their faces were pale. The Crimson Dragon gnashed its teeth. Damn it, just you wait. The tribe leader of the Xianhai tribe sighed. Although the dragon tribe could survive, the Xianhai tribe was probably done for. Sure enough, the entire Black Sea was torn apart, and endless amounts of seawater were evaporated. The living beings in the Black Sea were destroyed, and blood dyed the sky red. The entire Black Sea turned into a sea of blood. Other than the dragon tribe of the Black Sea, which was protected by the sky-devouring jar, all the other beast clans and sects were annihilated. Countless people were terrified. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty didn't give up and continued to gather resources. They had to kill Lin Xian. Endless forests and mountains. Far away from the Black Sea, Lin Xian also heard the news. No, he couldn't let this continue. If this continued, the heaven-devouring jar might not be able to protect him. It seemed that he had to make a move. Thinking of this, Lin Xian flew towards the nearby city. He appeared there and challenged a few prodigies, causing a commotion. Heavens, he's Lin Wudi. No way. Isn't he in the Black Sea? Why would he appear here? Is it a clone? No. I can sense a terrifying aura from his 9-yang divine body. That's his true body. Exclamations sounded one after another. Soon, the news spread. That guy actually appeared in the Alioth continent. Countless people were shocked. In an instant, the news spread to the Alcade continent. The Black Sea. After the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty received the news, they went crazy. How was that possible? Were they sure? That kid was in the Alioth continent. Wasn't he in the Black Sea Dragon tribe? They were sure. Someone saw it with their own eyes. Moreover, a prodigy had fought with him. It was the 9-yang divine body. It was his true body. Damn it. Let's go and kill him. The powerhouses of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty soared into the sky and stopped attacking the Black Sea Dragon tribe. They went to the Alioth continent. Had they stopped attacking? The people of the Black Sea Dragon tribe heaved a sigh of relief. The Crimson Dragon tribe frowned. Lin Xian probably knew that we were being attacked, so he came out. I wonder if that kid can dodge the attack? The Alioth continent. On this day, they were also terrified. They could sense an extreme weapon flying through the sky. The people of the Phoenix race also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. The Tianpeng race, the Fate race, and the other ancient families were also shocked. They only sent a few people to investigate and recalled most of their emperors. When the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty arrived, Lin Xian had already disappeared. This caused countless people to grit their teeth. The others also sighed. This method was like finding a needle in a haystack. The buried emperor's star was so big. It was impossible to find the other party if he found a place to hide. The 10,000 dragon diagram emitted a soul aura. The prince had been cursed. This was a clue. The eyes of the dragon race's patriarch lit up. They formed hand seals and searched. In the next moment, they snorted coldly and left. The endless mountain range was incomparably quiet. Suddenly, 10,000 dragons descended, piercing through everything. Inside the mountain range, in a cave abode, Lin Xian sat cross-legged. In the next moment, his pupils constricted. Damn it, the aura of the 10,000 dragon diagram. The other party had found him. How was this possible? He summoned the dimensional beast and instantly teleported away, dodging the fatal attack. In the next moment, the demon god wings on his back unfolded, and he instantly escaped. Kid, can you escape? When the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty saw this scene, they charged over crazily. Lin Xian continued to shuttle back and forth. He even began to burn his energy. However, every time he disappeared for a few days, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would be able to accurately find him. What was going on? Even if he used the Great Dragon Sword Soul to destroy his aura, the other party would still be able to find him. His face darkened. What was the problem? Was it because the Dragon Prince's corpse was with him? That shouldn't be. The other party shouldn't be able to detect the Sword World. Could it be? Lin Xian recalled that before the Dragon Prince died, he had cursed him. At that time, he didn't care about it. Perhaps it was the power of the curse. He wasn't sure if it was the power of the curse or the Dragon Prince's corpse. He decided to give it a try. He entered the Sword World to see if the other party could still find him this time. This time, a month had passed, but the other party still hadn't found him. This made Lin Xian heave a sigh of relief. The Sword World was incomparably mysterious and isolated all auras. From the looks of it, in this world, the Dragon Prince was either a clue or a clue to the curse. In the past month, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had gone crazy. They couldn't sense the other party's aura. The other party disappeared into thin air? What a joke. They had already found clues to the curse. Even if the other party left, they would be able to sense it. Unless the other party escaped to the edge of the universe, the information of the clues would become infinitely weak. But with the other party's strength, how could he be so fast? Then why couldn't they sense the other party's aura? The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were going crazy. Chapter 5175. After another half a month, Lin Xian walked out of the Sword World. Instantly, the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty sensed his aura and charged over again. Lin Xian quickly escaped and entered the Sword World again. This time, he completely disappeared. Damn it, after waiting for a year, the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty didn't feel Lin Xian's aura anymore. They were crazy. The ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty said. He was definitely in the Yuhan continent and didn't escape. He didn't know what method he used. Then what should we do? Should we continue to wait? The elder of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty frowned. If the other party doesn't come out in 100 years, do we have to wait for 100 years? They couldn't afford to wait at all. The other party was young. After 100 years of seclusion, his strength broke through and he swept through the world. As for them, they were in a hurry to take revenge. The one who killed the Dragon Prince was Lin Xian, but there were 4 people who attacked the Dragon Prince. Now, they couldn't find Lin Xian. What about the other 3? This kid was too evil and had many methods. Send people to stay in the Yuhan continent to search for his whereabouts. At the same time, we will chase after the other 3 people and attack anyone related to them. Use all the forces under us to spread the news. Let's spread the news. Let's see if the kid will come out when he finds out that all the people and sects related to him have perished. Let's go. The ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty left with his men. Next, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty sent out an order. The Dragon Sea Race, Thunder Dragon Race, Flying Dragon Race, Blue Race, and Feather Race. All the families and sects related to them moved out. They crazily attacked the families and sects related to Lin Xian. At the same time, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty searched for the monkey, the Jade Lake successor, and the Azure Emperor successor. Finally, after expending endless effort, they learned that the Jade Lake successor was Murong Qingqing of the Phoenix race. They once again charged towards the Yuhan continent and arrived at the Phoenix race. Hand over Murong Qingqing, or don't blame us for being impolite. The Phoenix race leader walked out and said coldly, "If you want to fight, I'll accompany you." The old Phoenix's eyes were filled with killing intent. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty attacked crazily, and the 10,000 Dragons diagram exploded. "I'm not afraid of you." The father and son of the Phoenix clan made their move, and the extreme weapons of the Phoenix clan also erupted. At the same time, another extreme Dao weapon erupted, blasting the 10,000 Dragons diagram back. The power of the ancient desolate tower. The old ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty hollered in rage. "Murong Qingqing, as expected, you were here. Come out and accept your death." Murong Qingqing stood in the void with the desolate tower in his hand and said coldly, "Damn you, Dragon Prince. Go back." The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people were furious. "Do you believe that I won't destroy Jade Lake right now?" They prepared to leave and attack the Jade Pool. Murong Qingqing's expression changed. In the next moment, she said coldly, "If you dare to destroy the Jade Lake, I will destroy the 1,000 Dragon Court. You only have one extreme weapon, and you keep it on you. As long as you leave, I will bring people to wipe out the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty." Damn, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty people were crazy. That was indeed the case. They could destroy the Jade Lake because the Jade Lake Desolate Tower was in the hands of Murong Qingqing. They were in the same situation. If they swept across the world with the 10,000 Dragon diagram, their headquarters would be in danger. "Good, Murong Qingqing. Just you wait." The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty gritted their teeth. This Murong Qingqing was even more difficult to deal with. With the Desolate Tower and the support of the Phoenix race, no matter how strong they were, they couldn't defeat her. They could only give up. Next, they chased after the monkey and the successor of the Azure the Arch. They really found the monkey, and countless people chased after him. After a great battle, the monkey was injured and left. However, it was impossible for the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty to kill the monkey. The iron staff in the monkey's hand was too terrifying. It might even be an extreme weapon. They didn't succeed, but the chase didn't stop. As for the successor of the Azure the Arch, he was more mysterious and they couldn't find him for a while. However, Yenryu took the initiative to walk out and summon the monkey to the Demon Emperor Mountain. Damn it, it was actually the people of the Demon Emperor Mountain. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty rushed over with killing intent and attacked the Demon Emperor Mountain. However, the successor of the Azure the Arch, Yenryu, also had an extreme weapon in his hand. Although the power of the Demon Emperor Mountain was suppressed, they still managed to protect it. Moreover, the monkey came to the Demon Emperor Mountain, and the two extreme weapons suppressed the 10,000 Dragon picture. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty went crazy with anger. The others were also shocked. In the past few years, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had been attacking the buried Emperor Star crazily. As for the people on the buried Emperor Star, they were incomparably terrified. Every day, there would be big news. In the end, they realized that the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty couldn't kill a single one of them. At the same time, they also knew why the Dragon Prince had died. Lin Xian had the heaven-swallowing jar, which was half an extreme weapon. The remaining three people were even stronger, and each of them had an extreme weapon. For extreme weapons were used against one Dragon Prince. It would be strange if the Dragon Prince didn't die. Lin Xian was too terrifying. Even his friends were so terrifying. Countless people were terrified. Even the princes frowned. Qilan's expression was serious. It seemed that he had to be careful in the future. For extreme weapons were indeed difficult to deal with, but he wasn't afraid. It could only be said that the Dragon Prince was too careless and stupid. Now that he knew that the other party's friends were so powerful, he naturally wouldn't let these people join forces. He had to defeat them one by one. Of course, he was going to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. He would let these people fight with the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty first. It would be best if both sides were injured. The Kuanpeng race. The yin and yang laws surrounded them, but at this moment, it was abnormally quiet. The Kuanpeng race would occasionally gather information. At the same time, they also took defensive measures. Their Kuanpeng son was in seclusion with all his might to break through to the supreme sage realm. On this day, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. With a long roar, the black and white lights turned into divine swords that shot into the clouds. A vast aura of a great sage flew out from the secret chamber. The Kuanpeng race was delighted. Great, he broke through. Kuanpeng's son had finally broken through. The Kuanpeng race walked over and stood in front of the secret room excitedly. Congratulations, Your Highness. Congratulations, Your Highness. The doors slowly opened and a man surrounded by black and white energy appeared. He was like a yin and yang god. His eyes were like lightning and the corners of his mouth curled up. My strength is more than 10 times stronger than before. Lin Wudi, this time I will let you know how powerful I am. With a cold snort, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. At the same time, he said, send a challenge to Lin Wudi. I want to challenge him. At the same time, tell me, has the Dragon Prince broken through? Kuanpeng's son had previously exchanged 3 blows with Lin Xian and left after losing. Now that his cultivation had broken through, the first thing he wanted to do was to challenge Lin Xian. He wanted to prove to the world that he was never afraid of anyone at the same level as him. Of course, he was also concerned about the Dragon Prince. This was a prince who wasn't weaker than him. Had he broken through before him? In front of him, the Kuanpeng race powerhouses were stunned and had strange expressions. They didn't know what to say. What's wrong? Kuanpeng's son frowned. Could it be that the Dragon Prince broke through before me? This guy is really fast. Humph. I will challenge him too. I want to trample him under my feet. Chapter 5176. An elder of the Kuanpeng clan walked out and said, Your Highness, the Dragon Prince is dead. What? Kuanpeng Zi was stunned. He couldn't believe his ears. He asked, Did the Dragon Prince lose to Lin Xian again? The elder in front shook his head. His Highness didn't lose, he died. Kuanpeng Zi's pupils constricted, and his heart stopped beating at this moment. The Dragon Prince is dead. He's an emperor. He's dead. Who did it? He asked quickly. God, how many years has it been since I went into seclusion? 3 years. 1 emperor has died. What exactly happened? It's Lin Wudi who killed him. An elder said. Kuanpeng Zi felt his vision go dark, and he almost fainted. He roared angrily. What did you say? Lin Wudi killed him? Lin Wudi already has such strength? At this moment, he felt that his Tao heart was about to collapse. He admitted that Lin Xian was strong. He was the first to break through to the great sage realm. He could even defeat him and the Dragon Prince. But defeat and death were 2 different things. As emperors, they had extreme weapons to protect themselves. Even if they were defeated, they wouldn't die. What's going on? Tell me clearly. Kuanpeng Zi roared crazily. Your Highness, don't be anxious. It's not what you think. Seeing that Kuanpeng Zi's aura was unstable, the elders of the Kuanpeng clan were also worried. Your Highness, stabilize your Tao heart and listen to me slowly. They told him what had happened in the past 3 years. Kuanpeng Zi's expression was extremely solemn. It wasn't what he thought. It wasn't Lin Xian who killed him alone. Instead, it was a group of powerhouses and 3 extreme weapons. It might even be 4 extreme weapons. Damn it, this Lin Wudi actually has such means. No wonder the Dragon Prince died. Not to mention the other party, even if he encountered such a situation, he would definitely die. The monkey, the successor of the Jade Pool, and the successor of Emperor Qing. Kuanpeng Zi frowned. Among them, he already knew that the successor of the Jade Pool was Morong Qingqing. She was the seven-colored phoenix of the Phoenix clan. He didn't know the successor of Emperor Qing, but the other party was in the monster Emperor Mountain. As for the origin of this monkey, it was a little mysterious. What kind of great emperor's descendant was this? Was the iron rod in his hand an extreme weapon? Those from the Kuan-Pong race also frowned. The monkey's identity was a little terrifying, as if it could be traced back to 1,000,000 years ago. 1,000,000 years ago? Kuan-Pong frowned. Who knew about something that happened so long ago? However, regardless of their identities, Kuan-Pong still remembered them in his heart. Be careful in the future. However, the Kuan-Pong race's people said that their situation wasn't good. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty used all of its power to hunt down these people. Furthermore, the clans and sects related to these people were all attacked. Many clans and sects had already been destroyed, and many experts had fallen. This was a war that would probably last for many years. That was indeed the case. Another elder said, "Your Highness, you should stay in the clan and cultivate during this period of time." Kuan-Pong nodded. What they had said was right. All the clans and sects related to the Divine Union had been affected. Even the families of the members of the Divine Union were being suppressed. Some of them directly shattered into pieces. As for those top-notch sects, they had long closed their doors, but they were still injured. In any case, their days were very tough. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty spread the news. They were the ones who made Lin Xian and the others go crazy. Then, they would come out to take revenge. At that time, they would have a chance. Although the other party had a lot of Emperor weapons, their foundation wasn't as strong as the Emperor race. The foundation of the Emperor race surpassed everything. When the time came to compete in terms of endurance, they would definitely be able to sweep everything. If the few Emperor weapons couldn't be fully recovered, the one-key all-purpose diagram would be able to sweep everything. It would be better to snatch the enemy's weapons. Therefore, they had to make a move regardless of the price. In fact, they even began to frantically sweep across the universe. They came to occupy those resources. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty could be said to have started the craziest mode. In an instant, the universe fell into darkness. As a result, the top genius experts all went into seclusion to avoid this crisis. Inside the Sword World, Lin Xian had been cultivating. He knew that the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would definitely not give up. It was useless for him to go out now. The most important thing was to increase his strength and cultivation. When his strength increased, he would kill the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty with Monkey, Qing Chang, and the others. At that time, he would directly destroy the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Lin Xian's eyes exploded with sharp killing intent. Beside him was the Dragon Prince's corpse. He had to admit that the other party's body was full of treasures. The Hellfire Dragon immediately rushed up and said, "Oh my God, kid, what kind of existence did you kill? Why do I feel so terrified when I feel his bloodline?" Lin Xian glanced at him and said, "You don't know him, right? This is the descendant of the Dragon Emperor." "What? You killed an emperor's son? And it's the emperor's son of the dragon race. How did you do it?" As a top expert, the Hellfire Dragon naturally knew how terrifying the emperor's son was. Killing the emperor's son was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. You don't have to worry about that. You only know that you had better behave yourself. Otherwise, I have the ability to destroy you. The Hellfire Dragon shook his head. "We are friends. How can we fight? It will hurt our friendship." He lowered his head and smiled. "Hee, let's meet and share some." He wanted a bit of the Dragon Prince's flesh and blood. Lin Xian glanced at him. "No way, these are all mine." "Damn, kid, don't be so stingy. Give me a drop of essence blood. Okay? All right, since you have helped me suppress experts before, I will give you a drop of essence blood." Lin Xian waved his sleeve, and the Hellfire Dragon caught it. "Ha ha ha, thank you very much." He rushed inside and began to refine it. Lin Xian also formed seals with his palms to refine the other party's power. This was definitely a treasure trove. Lin Xian absorbed it with all his might. He felt that his cultivation was increasing. At the same time, the Graveyard of Stars was also in chaos. A few Emperor weapons had collided and swept across this place, turning it into a land of death. No one dared to get close. However, a silhouette appeared there. This person had a handsome face, and there was a black vortex in his eyes. When those terrifying powers approached him, they were swallowed up. He was Yao Guang. At this moment, he used the demonic sky-devouring technique to come here and look around. He heard that a few peak great saints had died here. Were they all beaten into a bloody mist? The extreme grade weapon was indeed powerful. He formed seals with his palms and swallowed the sky and earth. There was still some bloody mist left in the world, and it quickly gathered toward him. It was swallowed by him. No, it was too little. He was unwilling to give up and continued to search. The Dragon Prince was dead. Was his body taken away? That damn Lin Xian. He didn't leave anything for me. He came here this time to find the Dragon Prince's body. If he could devour a monarch's son, his strength would undergo a tremendous change. But now, it seemed that the thing he wanted was taken away by the other party. Humph, damn it. Lin Xian, just you wait. One day, I will swallow you too. The sky-devouring jar is mine. Yao Guang's eyes were filled with murderous intent. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.